we are going to be taking over the entire marketing for the event, which includes all of them. We said a couple of times, this isn't all just about social supply. We get it. Chris got on that phone call, and this is a marketing expose on a core social supply. So, I would like to have a conversation about substances as well, if you guys will be handling that, because I feel like, well, what specifics? Well, the thing is like, alright, so the branding for the event, if it's social supply, are we presenting this as social supply presents this free whatever they got going on?
No, we're not presenting it as social supply presents free social.
Okay, so at that point, because that's how it was pushed to us on the call. So now, if that's not the case, okay, so it's still Assembly's spring thing or whatever, right?
It's 757 collab spring social.
Yeah. Okay. So then we're not creating no new name for that shit. You know? Like, why are we gonna go out of our way to create all this extra shit if it's not gonna be based on already? Like, I feel like that's just.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, if we're designing it, it's gonna have our sauce on it.
Yeah.
Well, not trying
And that's
to
what they're.
Anything that's not gonna have our sauce on it.
And that's what they're looking for. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm.
Yo, what up? What up? Yeah, I'm on a call right now, wrapping up. But I forgot to put in the description at 9 o'clock. We have an interview going down with us and another podcast. We're collabing. But yeah, I was watching some lo-fi mix.
But that's the thing. It's all about the inclusion of branding. That's what I'm really trying to nail down right now, because
we got about 8 minutes before the podcast starts.
Now we're not. So how are we supposed to be incorporating their brand? Period. Like, if we're gonna have this be.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, bruh. You might be the first one in here.
All right, cool. Our brands may be at the bottom, or like how does everybody else's brands fit into being actually celebrated the way it seems like supposed to seem after today's conversation? That's what we got. Because I'm gonna be real with you, this is the confusing part, because it seems like, okay, we're going into this tech event, and we're talking about this tech event, and this is talking about, okay, well, we don't have to do the tech event, we can do something completely different.
Yeah, bro, let me know if the music's too loud. Yo, what up? What up? We got a podcast starting in 6 minutes. I'm just wrapping up this meeting real quick while we wait for it to start. Some podcast called Figuring Shit Out wants to interview me. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go live if I can. Instead of just going live on y'all thing, let me go live on mine too and make that shit work. I'm just letting this play in the meantime. Let me know if the music's too loud, if the sound's alright. Yeah, they asked me if I could do it on Skype, so I'm gonna try and figure out how to like plug in. I should be able to make it work. Word.
We can't back out again. That's not a. Oh no, I don't. Yeah. So what I would like to do is, I would like to now I think that professionalism and stuff they can do with inside their business, they can draw into some of that as well for us. Also be
Let me see if they're trying to send me the link.
They own the fucking building. Drew knows who we are. You saw me at the last event that we were at. Did the tech shit, so what's up, dad, don't pull up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know what the fuck we are. I think that it would be good to bring them in to a certain degree. For sponsorships for one, but number two, also be able to elevate ourselves to be able to leverage the fact that, all right, we don't even have to work with y'all guys in the future.
Savannah already knows this, yes, but Bro runs everything in that building for sure. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, I feel like we've got to bring them in on a tech vibe because they are marketing, they're digital management, they're digital about a lot of things. So I don't think it would be a bad move to reach out to them and see if they would like to be a part of this as sponsorship. Because if we have their shit on our shit,
Yeah, I think we're about to set it up now.
put on a website which works, bro, and on top of that, they can bring in a different atmosphere towards the body as well. And bring in some major players.
We're drop it in the Discord, bro.
Like right now, that's the key part that's missing that we've been missing from Assembly. Like we've been working for everybody around Assembly. Just give me a second. You can smoke a moment. Just give me a moment, please. Gotcha. Give me a second.
Ivan, you gonna be at the crib tonight? Where I might need to swing by.
Completely thought. What I'll do is I'll reach out to Bro. I'll reach out to Bro. You know, people that work at Bro. I think that would be a major move because, of course, Bro works with everybody with Pharrell's team and everybody uses major players in all the fucking major cities around here at this point. I think it would be a good way to have their branding on an event that is sponsoring the culture. I think that's something that they
Wow.
might do.
That's what's up, bro. Yeah, I definitely need to see that.
My bad, y'all. I actually got a dip. I just had to go live at 9 o'clock.
So you good? I got you, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna let me know if anything changes.
Yeah, I got you. We'll tap back in.
Alright.
All right, peace.
Cool. Yeah, I was in a little meeting. We're doing
We're doing like a Cinco de Mayo thing at Assembly. I know you're in this area, bro, so if you want to swing by to that, it should be dope. We're doing like a tiny desk type of thing. Okay, so this dude is gonna call me on Skype. Let me hurry up and download that real quick then. Do I need to have that downloaded? Let me see. That's a weird way to do it. I've never done a podcast on Skype before. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me see. And then I should be able to just make sure my shit is set up right, sound wise, so that y'all can hear it. But thanks for adding me in another video, bro. That shit is cool. What is my Microsoft password? I think it's old. Hold up. Yeah, that should be it. Okay. I'm signed in the Skype now, so I should be good. Oh, okay. Okay, we're setting it up. Yeah, man, Assembly's right there. It's gonna be some they do this thing at Assembly. So we got Startup Studios. I'll show you their website. It's like it's where we did the hackathon at. Man, I'm like the most not preparest. You would think I would shave or something to get ready for shit like that. Cause this is a whole nother group. Like, I don't mind with y'all, but with their shit, I'm like, wait, I don't know their audience. They're gonna be like, who is this dusty ass dude? But yeah, this is Startup Studios right here.
And it's so on the roof of assembly, we're doing something May 2nd, I think it is. It's gonna be like some tiny desk type thing for a social. Like, let me know if you're trying to go. It's supposed to be private, but I'm sure we have like a list of people that we can invite. But we're doing the all of the like entertainment side of it. But yeah, I was looking at myself like, man, should I go try to clean up real quick? I just been here just coding all day, man. But it's going good. I'm making progress, man. I finally got past some shit that I was held up on. That's why I didn't put a video out today, but this counts. So we still on the streak. We definitely still on the streak of posting every day. All right, he's setting up. He's setting up. Oh shit, let me call him back. Hold up. Looks like I missed the call. Let me move this over here. Move this over here. Move that down there. So if I open, I'm sure if I open this. Okay, word.
Oh,
Yo.
The
Let me get.
Where's his?
Hold up.
Yo, where's my Scarlet microphone?
Yo,
Yeah,
Can y'all hear me?
yeah, I can hear you. I can't
Okay.
see you though.
Hold on. Let me see if I have my camera right now is going to OBS. I wonder if I can make it go to here instead.
So on your OBS, do you see a virtual camera? If you click on start virtual camera, it might output whatever's on your screen.
All right.
Because that's how you. I know that's one way for OBS to output.
Okay. Hold up.
Yeah, OBS.
Output is the program.
Yeah, but not that I gotta go on here. And I don't know where he at. He was just on here.
How do I send it over there though?
To Skype.
Yeah.
So I have that's a good question. I use an NDI. There's like an NDI plugin that allows us to bring Skype video into OBS.
I got an idea. Hold up.
All right.
Alright, I'm back.
There you go.
Hit the choppy screen on me. Yeah.
Oh,
We live really good.
Nah, we're not.
Okay, cool.
We color people. We gotta. You know what I mean?
I need my cigar. You look at this little bitty cigar I got to work with today.
If I cut the camera here.
The camera looks straight, bro. You clean the camera or something? That shit look clear as fuck.
For me,
Yeah. It look
it might
clear.
be I'm sitting directly under light.
Okay.
So that might be it.
No, it looks like you got like an 8K camera.
Got the guns out there, you know what I mean?
Okay, don't do it to him. Don't do it to him. We ain't trying to blow up. You don't want the YouTube
look,
channel to blow up.
According to you, ain't with the misspelled word fucking around. Hey, Brett was taking me out yesterday.
Bro, certain
There we
things,
go.
everybody got pet peeves.
and then you go and post the hate word. You said hate transphobia. The first two words out your mouth in the post.
I'm gonna be trying some things. I think we may need to do some.
It should be working now. Is it not?
Hold on. Let me try some. I probably gotta point my NDI source to.
Because I saw myself preview for a second.
Okay, I got a Skype. I got the blue Skype.
All I see is your yin-yang symbol.
All right. Hold on.
So you're on OBS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
one
one second. Okay,
There we go.
I
I
see it.
see it.
You know the
The
little
little
thing
thing
next to
next
the
to the
camera,
camera,
the
the
settings.
settings.
Mm-hmm.
When I
When
hit
I
that,
hit
I
that,
see
I see
myself.
myself.
But for
But for
some
some
reason, when I
reason,
go
when
to
I go
click
to click
this,
this,
the
the
video,
video,
it won't
it
let me
won't let me
click it.
click it.
What
It's
about
got a
the
Let's
red
put
line.
it line.
when you do you have start virtual camera on?
Yeah, on
Yeah, on
OBS.
OBS.
All right.
Okay,
Okay,
now we
now
should
we
be
should be
good.
good.
Wait,
Wait,
no.
no.
it's kind of weird because
Control
Control
Shift
Shift.
K.
we need the video and we need Skype video to come in. You know what I'm saying? Oh, just try to hit click stop virtual camera for a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see what happens with that.
Stop
Stop
that.
that.
Output compete with them.
Now let
Now
me
let me
just.
just.
I'll just
I'll
put
just put
normal,
normal,
like my
like my
normal
normal
webcam,
webcam,
because
because
even
even
OBS, I
OBS, I
turned my
turned my
camera
camera
off
off
of my
of my
stream.
stream.
Okay. And like yeah, go into
Let me back
Back
out and
out
then
and
join
then
back
join
in.
back
Maybe
in.
it'll
Maybe
work
it'll
then.
work then.
okay.
Right.
Yo,
You might
my
have
bad,
to
y'all. We're
no, you straight, you straight.
we
I think I
were.
know what you might got to do. I think you got to put your Skype window on you have like multiple screens
I just now
to
noticed that. Hold on, we're in two separate. Here, let me drop out this one too, because that could be
all
the
right.
problem. Boom, drop out of there. All right, let's try this again. Now hop in here. There you go.
There you go.
Word. All right. Now let me see. Let me check my chat real quick.
Where Frank go?
There you go.
Oh shit, they can't see anything. My bad.
So
My
now
bad,
They
y'all.
competing.
Okay,
so
we're good. We're
no,
good.
no,
I think we're good now.
yeah, we're good here, but if you want to stream OBS something on your screen out, just set your OBS to whatever screen you have and you can still stream. You should be able to still stream out
Yeah,
to
yeah.
YouTube.
I'm streaming it. We're good. They see our whole thing now. We're good. I can't see you
Can they
though.
hear you?
I see Arthur, but I don't see you at the top.
Yeah, Frank camera has stopped.
Okay.
Yeah, y'all don't see me moving? Y'all don't see me?
Nah. No. Now you
I
back.
see me. I see me.
Yo, I
Oh,
got
okay.
some. I got
Just came back.
the builders are here with us too on my
What's going
screen.
on, builders?
The builders.
So yeah,
Can they
sounds
hear us?
good. Everything's good. Yep, they can hear and see us. We're good. We're live.
Oh,
Straight. That's what's up. Well, get shit. We should go live, I guess. Should we just jump in?
Yeah.
Or we didn't do no sound check. You know how this is just you know.
Yep.
You know what? Let's go jump. Let me turn these on, jump in, and
Do the sound check.
you know how to. All
Man,
right, we can do this.
I should have cleaned up, man. I've been coding all day. I was like, I'm cool with my chat, but I don't know your audience. So they're gonna be like, who's this dusty?
Nah, they cool.
Who's this
Look,
dusty
I
developer
bought
they
a
got?
product. I brought a beard product and the logo was rugged and new smooth. So we in there.
Word.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump in and let's monitor these things to make sure the sound is good. I think it's gonna work perfectly. Let me play the intro real quick.
We got 9 people with it rocking with us right now.
Nah, that's
Watching
dope.
this setup.
Builders, what up with you?
That's dope. That's
Real
dope.
time live action, hand to hand combat. You know what I'm talking about?
Watch this.
Yep.
Watch the intro come in. Wait, let me start streaming. I should probably start streaming, right? Boom. We streaming. Facebook,
All over the world.
YouTube, intro. We could talk through it. It's fine.
Oh,
Matter of fact, we'll skip the intro. No, let's let it rock.
Now go ahead. Season 3.
We're gonna let this
5.
rock.
King Arthur. Bunny Fox. Yeah. Got the special guest in the building.
that's official.
Gotta jam out real quick.
Yeah, I told him
Hold
the intro fire, ain't it?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, he be killing them.
Three-person chat. Boom, we back. Episode 71.5. And we live. What's going on?
What up, though?
Yo,
What up, King Arthur? Got King in the building?
Yeah, Unified Thigh, you know what time it is, man. Lionel, what up? We got a guest today, y'all. What up, Lionel?
What up? What up, y'all? Nice to meet everybody. We live on my stream as well. Thanks for having me.
Hey, that's what's
Going
up.
on, builders. So what we gonna jump into today? What we talking about? We got about 20
I
some
think
minutes. What's up?
we gonna rock out. So Lionel been going nutball crazy ape shit over here. He been doing what's his 20 days in a row now? 21 days in a row now?
Yeah, bro. I've been going either 21 or 22 days in a row of posting videos every single day, bro.
Oh,
On
that's
Grinding.
YouTube,
fire.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Grinding.
And you first started off the hackathon. You started the hackathon about a month ago, and then you decided to go ape shit and just started going live. And
Ye-
one of your videos blew up, right? Which video was it?
Yeah. My first video I made, I was honestly like, you see it right in the beginning of the video. I said, I said my story of how I went, cause y'all were with me when I was truck driving. I think I know I had the crypto thing going, but I was also truck driving,
Crypto
Right.
talks.
or I
Yeah.
might have took a break from truck driving. So I made a YouTube video preparing to go to the hackathon like 3 days before the hackathon started, and I was just telling my story about how I went from truck driving, taught myself how to code, and broke into tech. And I said during
Right.
it, I was like, even if I could just help 3 people, I'm just making a video just to make it, just to let people know
Right.
it's possible. You don't need a college degree. You don't need a expensive boot camp to break into tech. And then
That's facts.
it ended up kind of going crazy. Like every for like a week, every time I checked that video, it was up like another 100 views. It just every time I checked it,
fire.
it kept going up.
I seen that. I think you went up like you do up to now what 3,000 subs now off of that?
Yeah, off of
Oh,
that video, I got up to
That's
it
crazy.
finally chilled out at 3,000 subs.
That's what's up.
that's
Yeah, and
that's super.
me and Frank been telling people this for a minute, dog. Like, get into tech, find your way in. The door is wide open. If you
Facts.
can just teach, if you a self starter, if you eager to learn, if you willing to put yourself out there, and that's been a topic too, Frank. We've been talking to a lot of our guests. A lot of them been saying you got to be willing to learn whatever you're doing, whatever craft you're doing, right? But especially with this tech thing, because it's moving so fast, it's moving so rapid, it's on hyper
Yeah,
speed.
it
You know what I mean? And
changes.
like every day, and it's, every day is something to learn. So you got to be have your learner's head on, bro. Like he said, you ain't got to have expensive boot camps. Me and Frank, we got degrees because we probably seen the tech wave as it was forming. But it still ain't even, the wave still ain't even crushed over yet, right?
Right.
Nah,
This wave
not
gonna
at
be
all.
this is like a tsunami wave. Like it's gonna be building for a long minute. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So
um,
so for my followers, can y'all tell? Because they said, wait, who are these guys? Oh, can y'all tell them
oh
what y'all do?
We had to figure this shit out podcast.
yeah,
We've been doing
yeah,
what we've been podcasting for like 2-3 years now. And
yeah,
I'm in cybersecurity and I do websites. So
right.
peace out to y'all.
Yeah. So
Check out
these
Cyberbunny.
are tech guys. So I knew they would be with it. You know.
Yeah, check out cyberbunny.com and lucidperspective.com. That's me.
Yeah, I'm a techie too. I build websites as well, but I got a couple of things going on. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, for real. So I sell some masks, I sell some courses, I do websites. You know what I mean? But tech is in the heart of all of it, right? And so I'm all about learning about new technologies. I talk about quantum computing a lot. I talk about 4D printing a lot. I talk about augmented reality, spatial reality,
Dude,
virtual
the new
reality, all the new stuff, like stuff that's about to be our everyday life. Like I post videos of what is the robots? They got robots that you tilt over. He'll get up and still try to accomplish his objective without without caring about the objective in his way or the interference, right? Like that shit crazy to me. And it's crazier that people are still stuck on jobs, are still stuck on manual labor tasks, or like cars are still on gas, or like
bro. Don't
there's
get me
no
started.
reason for half the world not to be on. I'm just telling the truth, right? Like, ain't
Nah,
no reason
that's real.
for half the world ain't be on solar. You know what I mean? Ain't no reason for everybody not to be in the AI because the
Right.
shit is moving so. Man,
But then
I go all day about this shit.
but then why do people say, AI is gonna steal jobs and stuff like that?
That's me. I feel that way.
It is though.
it's one of those. Yeah, it's gonna take the low level, low laborist, low thinking type of jobs. So you know what I'm saying, we're already seeing it. We're seeing it with the kiosks in Walmart, the kiosks in the retail
Mm-hmm.
stores. You know, self checkout.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen it in customer service. We've seen it in help desk. There's so many. It's affected. We've seen in graphic design. Like I'm a graphic designer.
For
I do
sure.
video. I do graphics. I do video editing. I used to do photography. And with the graphic design is like it's easy. It makes it easy for me because I have background in being creative, so
Right.
I could just go run in Chat GPT and type up some prompt, get a nice picture. But for people that are graphic designers by trade and like that's their main job or their company, it's affecting them tremendously because instead of going to them, you can go straight to AI and type some a prompt, get a picture, you know, put out, cut out the graphic designer. So it is affecting industry to an extent, you know, and you got to consider that. But there's also opportunity that you got to focus on
Major.
too. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah, you can look at the negatives and be like, well, damn, there's my job going. But where can you find the pros? You know, where can you find the opportunity? And that's what I think is important.
So like what is it? Fast food. They making pizza by themselves, right? They flipping burgers by themselves. My sister, she a mail carrier, and I'm telling her like, damn, I can definitely see the post office having a robot just going down the street dropping off mail. Because first of all, it's already a felony to knock over a mailman with the mail. It's a felony to steal
Mm.
the mail. So now they're gonna put the robot on the street, and once you tip him over, you already caught. He probably gonna stain your ass. You know what I'm talking about? And he can be hard to break into.
Going
You
to
know what
the
I mean?
jail.
And that's gonna, bro, and that's gonna eliminate at least 100 million jobs. But also, it's gonna provide opportunities to people who know how to maintain these things, who know how to build these things, who know how to monitor these things, so people to watch these things, to collect these things. You know what I mean? So, like you said, opportunity is ever present. You know what I
Right.
mean?
You know what's crazy? Literally today, I was on the phone with this restaurant, a prospect down in Florida, and she was telling me like we were trying to figure out what am I gonna do, because she has a WordPress, and she was telling me that she's getting rid of her cashier position because she has an artificial intelligence that will answer the phone and will take orders for her food, and you can't even tell, it's no lag or nothing like that, so you can't even tell that this is a AI. I was like, are you
Like the
sure
Turing test.
that's gonna work out? And she was like, yeah, we tried it out, and they have a free trial, and she said it will repeat the order back to you. Whatever you say, you could take stuff off, you could add stuff, and so far it worked
Wow.
perfectly. So she was like, she about to get rid of her cashier position.
Wow. So wait, let me ask you a question. Is it how is it I'm assuming it's less than what she's paying the cashier
Yeah, yep.
by
Already.
significant?
Like half, yeah, like probably half. I think she said, cause that's a salary. She's cutting a salary just to pay for her software, you know.
That's
So
crazy.
shoot, I didn't ask
Is
her
And
it?
it don't
the
sleep.
numbers,
Don't
but
need
I
no
was like,
breaks.
yeah, I was like, dang, I was like, man,
It,
that's crazy.
that is crazy, but you gotta think about it, it makes sense for the business, right? But then on the other side, you know, now you got someone that's out of a job.
Yeah,
So I don't know. It's a catch 22. It's a double edged sword. All the things. But where do we stand? Like as far as AI, what are some opportunities that are out there? Obviously, learning how to use it, right? Prompts, maybe the coding behind it, starting your own AI company. What are some opportunities that we can look forward to not get replaced? You know what
uh,
I mean?
honestly, for me, I would not even be able for real, or it would just be way the difficulty of my job and getting tasks done on time would probably 4x if it wasn't for ChatGPT. The amount of documentation I would have to read, trial and error shit I would have to do, would this shit would be so much harder if I didn't have ChatGPT. I was just talking to my girl about that earlier today. I was like, cause she was like, imagine how they did it before Google, and I was like, that's why. I'm
Couldn't
like, that's
couldn't
why
imagine it.
back then the real nerds, like the real nerds
Yeah,
who couldn't even
yeah.
talk to people, used to do it. And
Introverts.
I know, yeah, if y'all know, developers, software engineers have a reputation for being hard to deal with companies. Everybody
Yeah.
else in the company don't really want to talk to the developer back in the day
It's the
because
soft skills they don't have. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But now people like me with communication skills who come from other backgrounds, because of ChatGPT, I'm able to slide in and I can do both. I'm gonna be a person who I will communicate properly and can even like break stuff down to the rest of the team, to the people who aren't in the tech industry, because my communication, my soft skills are there, even though
Right.
I'm not as, proficient with the
Tech.
coding, with the language. Yeah, like, but back in the day, before Google, before ChatGPT, you had to be a straight basement robot dude to to even
Study the
to even do
And
textbooks.
it.
so that's
Yeah.
that's one thing I say. Like that's one thing I say about me getting jobs. Like I always lead in interviews. I always lead with my soft skill is there. I'm about a B plus technically, but I'm a AA plus communication wise, right? Because I can talk to a director, I can talk to the coders, I can talk to the shareholders, I can talk to govies, product owners, front end users, and even like you said, AI with AI and database. I'm a database administrator, right? So there's a thing called vector database administration, right? Or vector databases, right? That's what I'm trying to get into now because like I'm proficient in the old databases, you know what I mean? But they have now like they have database models to where the large language models are using to make for companies to go in and I guess to categorize whatever they want the large language model to use, and they
Hmm.
put it in vectors. So the AI is now faster instead of it categorizing itself like somebody categorizing it for it. And so when it's going to the database, it's that much faster. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to go with it. It still keep my humanness and my soft skill with it. You know what I mean? So
That's what's up. I got a question. So we know when it comes to coding, right? We got PHP, we got HTML, CSS, and that's for web.
mm-hmm,
We got C++ as programming. And I don't know, man, and we can find that out now. We can talk about it. Maybe Lionel. What is the base code program of an AI system? Is that something that's out, information that's out? Is it proprietary? Are they keeping it secret? Like if you wanted to create your own AI, what is the code that you need for that, or you need to understand or know for that?
Damn. Shit. Yeah, that's a good question. Isn't that
I think it's a large language models. I'm about to look at
Okay.
the definition right quick.
Because my thing is, okay, we got ChatGPT, we got Google Gemini, I think that just came out.
mm-hmm.
Microsoft pushed out something to Windows 11. Amazon, there's all these different AIs popping up.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's great. These are
Mm-hmm.
the big tech guys. These are corporations. They got the funds. They could do it, whatever. What about the little guys, like people like us? Like, is there a way for us to develop our own AI? Is there like a
Right.
baseline we
It's
we could
called
use,
large
or
language models.
Somebody
It's a
in my chat said Python is huge for AI and machine learning right now, to his
right.
knowledge.
a Python? Okay, I know
a
a little Python.
specialized type of artificial intelligence that has been trained on vast amounts of text to understand existing context and generate original content.
Yeah,
Large
so
language model. That's what you need. If you want to learn code AI, you need to learn how to do large language model and then data science and big data. Like all three of those go hand in hand.
Right. But there's got to be like something to, like an API, something to plug into, a database or something. So is
so
that what it is?
I was at Startup Studios like a week ago, and there was these dudes sitting behind me, and I asked him, I was like, what are y'all working on? And he said they're doing a personal trainer app that detects the body and through AI tells you certain shit about the body. And I was like, are y'all tapping into ChatGPT, into OpenAI's API? And he was like, for certain things, but for most of it, we're building our own. And I was like, oh
That's
shit.
dope.
I was like, all right,
So
say
see,
less.
That's
Let me
dope.
leave
You said
y'all alone.
Python?
so the
Uh,
vector databases I was talking about was like who is it? It's a Chrome DB. They got a I'm trying to look them up right now. Here you go. Chrome DB. They got a Vesta. They got a Pinecone. And so like these databases, you put your languages in, and that's how
Okay.
you kind of code your large language model. That's where it
okay.
reads
That's
from.
dope. That's dope. I'm gonna do some
Mm-hmm.
research on this, but like I mean, it's good to piggyback off the
Check.
already established. We can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
We can hear you. But yeah, that'd be dope to develop your own shit. You know what I'm saying? But I just came up with that question just now while I was thinking about like how do you do your own AI as opposed to leaning on everyone else, which is fine too. Don't get me wrong. I'm paying the $20. I got
Right,
I got
right.
the AIs. I'm messing with them.
So y'all use
Um,
it? Do y'all have the customized GPTs for certain stuff?
I lean on Dolly a lot. I think that's how you say it, Dolly.
Mm-hmm.
But I have not messed with this Sora, the video text to
So
video.
it's not available public yet.
Okay.
Is we
But
good?
I think we did an episode before. Remember? Yeah,
Mhm.
we did. We did an episode with me and Frank. Who was it? We talked about who was it? The apps that Opus had, not Opus. ChatGPT
OpenAI.
had, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, and they have like 40 different extensions for like, oh my gosh, like you can do graphs, you can do book summaries, you can do, and these are
Logos.
already, yeah, these are apps that people built inside of
Oh, right.
ChatGPT. So like leveraging ChatGPT, and I was doing research. Like I didn't have access to like it's a thing called the melanoid peptides, some scientific book. It's super sciencey, right? That I just ain't got the brain for. I was like, man, summarize this thing for me. It's about 500 pages of information, but it summarized it down to about at least to where I can read it in 20, 30 minutes and kind of get the gist of the whole book, right? So,
That's crazy.
and I feel like I read the whole thing, but it's something I've been wanting to get my hands on, but I couldn't because the book $300, $400. Now I can just put it in ChatGPT and get a summary of it, and I'm like, damn, that's what I needed my whole time.
Andre said Python and Linux for sure.
For AI.
To code
develop-
AI. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a little Python. I messed with Python back in my hacking days years ago. This is like 2 lifetimes ago.
A lot of people
I-
start with Python. I went straight
It's simple.
to HTML, CSS, JavaScript.
Okay, yeah. I don't really do the JavaScript. But when I do the WordPress, so like when I build my sites, I use Elementor as a lot of website building type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm good on HTML and CSS to an extent. As far as JavaScript, if I find something I could copy and just plug in somewhere and tailor a little bit, if I got to change things, I'll do that. But I can't write it myself. Python, I'm decent on it. Yeah.
That's most of us, brother.
Especially the new age,
everybody
right?
Plugging, yeah, we
code,
plugging
just
in remixing. We plugging and remixing over here.
Right. Is there
But
anybody
you
out
still
there
gotta
that
have
can
some kind
like
of
type a
foundation.
whole program from start to finish?
I preach.
what,
I'm a
man.
big preacher on do not. Why would you want to recreate the wheel? I'm sure we all could if we wanted to. But if you inspect any website and you see all that shit, who the hell is really gonna take a month to make one website? Now you done lost your client because you trying to center. You all day you changing some shit. It's going here. Now you changing it. It's over here.
Look,
Now
look,
it's
look.
here.
I'm old enough to remember paging or doing HTML websites where you got to make the change on every single page. And this is before CS. This is like slightly before CSS, where you can like use the style to style the whole website. And I would like when I was. This is, man, I don't even know what we talking about, man. 1999, 98, 2000, 2001. Type a web page, HTML, and a text file. Save it as an HTML. Open it in a browser. That's the type of shit I was on. I'm
Frank,
showing my age right
I
now.
learned that. I learned that in school, and I went straight to database, and I said, "Well, I'm never gonna build a website again." Like, but what I want to say though, first shout out to my homie Q here in the chat. What up, Q? Yeah, I got the boy shirt on, man. You gonna taking it back? It's important to know the foundation of the damn code anyway, though. So it's crazy important to know what the headers are, right? The tags, right? You still gotta understand them semicolons and them commas and them question marks, in them quotation marks. Like you got to know that stuff. Like, yeah, you can rely on ChatGPT to get you the basics, but if you don't know where you're putting it at, and you don't know why you put it in a certain place, if you don't know this thing's supposed to be in your CSS style sheet, or if this is just a function, right, of voice an array, you know what I mean? If you don't understand what the code is actually gonna do, you're gonna be shocked because you can be trying to get this thing to somebody, especially they know what they're doing. If you give something to somebody that know what they're doing and you don't know what you're doing on the way, you can be looking real crazy.
Let something break till you don't know how to fix it.
Then you
Man,
that's
Damn
when
period or
ChatGPT.
dash.
That's when
That's true.
you highlight the whole thing, you copy it into ChatGPT, and you say, break this down for me line by line. I need to understand what the fuck this is. You know what I mean?
And that's
I didn't
good
think about
though.
that.
It's great at that. It's great at that for real.
Oh, I never tried that. I'm gonna try that.
There's been
And
times.
ChatGPT do got a tutor. They got tutors. Now that's another thing. We're talking about learning, right? But it's gonna teach you. It's about to cut the learning curve down to fucking hours. You know what I'm talking about? So
No,
it got math tutors, it got language tutors, it got coding tutors, right? It got writing coaches. You know what I'm talking about? So we in a time where there's no excuse. It's like, I don't know, my son gonna be a techie from as soon as he can type properly. You feel me? Like I don't think he got a choice. I don't think he got a choice. You know what I mean? So I can't forget about the real world though. You know what I mean? Like that's another thing too. We can't forget about the real world. We can't forget about going outside and playing in the grass.
Yeah.
You can't forget about getting the sun on your skin. Right? Go playing in the pool.
Get burnt by that slide.
It's gonna be a fight because it's gonna be hard to get them kids outside and away from the what did man say? The inroads of information is an addiction. Just gather information, it's a poison because you'll just learn and learn and learn and learn and learn. But you may not even use a quarter of the stuff you just learn. You just enjoy it or addicted to consuming knowledge. You know what I mean?
That's facts. Definitely facts, man. So what's the Lionel? What's the digital builders? You want to talk about that a little bit about your click? What's going on?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been working on the lore a little bit and talking to them about it. We have it's some lore behind it that ChatGPT is helping me out with. So we got some Fight Club shit going on, bro. We got a school.com community with like 70 people in it, and we starting like some Ninja Clan type shit for. Now this is not gonna be front facing from the front face of it. It's gonna be a regular marketing agency that can build apps or any kind of ideas that people need, right? Because we're getting so many things coming in. But I have a Discord with like 170 people in it. We got a school.com with 30 people in it. 70 people. Mm-hmm. And these are mostly junior developers, but we also got some skill in there. We got we got some wizards in there for real. Like from the hackathons, some local legends. Like one dude works for, he told me stop saying his company, but one of the top streaming services, he works for them. He's an architect from them. I did a podcast with them. We got another dude like for real, beasts in there. But the whole thing of the digital builders is, for one, I'm getting so many requests that I have to keep pumping stuff out, and I'm gonna pass it to my youngers with me, right? As they join our community and make a name for themselves, post stuff that they're working on. We do portfolio reviews. We help motivate people and break them out of tutorial hell, because tutorial hell is a real thing. When you're trying to teach yourself how to code, it's very, very easy for you to get trapped in like that learning rabbit hole where you never stop doing courses and you never stop building and you never step out of your house into where the developers actually are. So the lore is like, imagine, it's like right when the world told us that AI was going to take our jobs, right when the world told us that you needed a CS degree, when it was too late to learn the code, when you couldn't do it, the digital builders, learned how to actually get it done, how to actually start freelancing and actually start going to hackathons, planning hackathons, teaching kids to code, doing classes on meetup.com. And then we infiltrate, because the whole thing is that there is a place where developers hang out outside of your house, outside of these lessons, outside of your, because most people think, what most people do and where most people fuck up at is they finish their courses, then they go straight to LinkedIn and they apply for all these jobs that have 100 applicants. And it's like, no, we're not doing that, because that's where you get frustrated and then you go back to work. It's
and
like,
you ain't got a network, right? You got a network.
You got to put your feet on the ground and make a name for yourself, shake some hands, and that's what the digital builders are going to do all over the world. I'm kind of spreading that lore on some, like, we infiltrating and then setting up shop in all these different places and getting jobs, sneaking into companies on some ninja shit.
That's dope. That reminds me, like, to be honest, so several years ago when I was in the hacking space, I did that in DC. There was this place called Shout out Nova Hackers. I don't know if y'all know the fuck is his name. It starts with an M. He's a Mubix. Shout out to Mubix. So I was in the DC area, and I did that. I joined some hacker groups. We met up like once a month. They did like hackathons and things, and I was in that. I was on that scene, but that was when I was in DC, and it was fun. You know, you meet a lot of people. They're smart. They'll teach you. Most of the people were down to teach, and they were very receptive. You know, there's a few knuckleheads here and there, you know what I'm saying, but that's in any kind of group. But yeah, that reminds me, what you're talking about is what I used to do back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And that's super dope that y'all doing that. Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. Keep on doing it.
Talk about the hackathons right quick. Talk about how important hackathon is to a coder or a potential coder or someone who want to get into tech. Because like you said before, I think you ain't even got to be a coder to be in the tech. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, bro. Hackathon is the cheat code. The cheat code that nobody really knows about. The craziest thing about joining a hackathon, for one, it's like pickup basketball. Like people think that you have to know how to code and that. Well, how am I gonna join a team? It's like you pick your squad the first day. Everybody kind of looks around like, yo, what do you do? What do you do? You know, and you don't really have to do anything. Every team can have 5 people. That's where your soft skills come in. You know what I mean? One of the guys on our team, all he did was send emails the whole time. You know, shout out to Caleb. Shout out to Caleb.
Hey, that's
He
important.
could have did more, but
He's
hey,
important though, for sure.
yeah, customer discovery. But now he's doing the most out of all of us because we're all kind of, you know, busy. But that's the thing. When I was walking up the stairs for the judging competition at the end, I thought about that shit. And I'm like, wait a minute. Did I just join a company? I kind of just joined a company, didn't I? Because after this, not only are we building an app right now for this weekend, when it's over, shit, we're not going to let all that work that we did just die. Now we have a whole app. It's a startup that we can get funded. You know, it's all about who has the time, you know, and who wants to take it over. And if you got the time, if everyone else is working at Disney or whatever company, if everyone's working at some crazy company, the rest of your team, and you're the lowest guy and you don't, you know, you working at Food Line or something, shit, maybe you'll be the one who gets the GitHub repo transferred to you. And now you're going to be the one making all the social media accounts, pushing it. And then when you need help, yeah, they'll build it on the weekend. They'll work on it, you know. And now you the whole CEO of some company that you have a whole story behind it. So
Man,
that's what
this is
happened.
inspiring, bro. You inspire me. Let me ask you
That's
something
fine.
about your hackathons. So y'all hackathons are
Oh God, bro.
digital mobile app development, creating companies, creating applications for mobile.
For the digital builders.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. We taking
Okay.
everything on because we got that talent pool now. We got
Nah,
a
that's dope.
lot of developers. We got a lot of talent now, and it's cool because with me, you know, out there at Startup Studios, which is the perfect place because what does every startup need? Developers. Every startup needs to start something, to build something. So you know, it helps me pump stuff out. You know, when they know it ain't just me too. I got a whole agency
Yeah.
behind me.
Nah, that's dope.
Yo,
That's
I
super
like
dope.
I like the analogy to pick up basketball, right? Because I put my shirt right. I play basketball, and so when I started playing basketball, I didn't start playing basketball. So like I was a late bloomer. You know what I mean? Probably 16, maybe 17. Like, but when I got good, I ended up being like, when I walk in the gym, oh, I got 2. He playing with us, but it only happened because I was on a team of playing for a while with people that was way, way more experienced and better than me. And like I said, I just took it to myself, like, man, I'm gonna get better too. And then I became better than some of them, and the next thing I know it, I'm that dude. But I ain't the best, but I can get busy on the court. But I feel like the hackathons are the same way though. Like when I'm with a group, I may not be that dude, but I can get busy when I put the work in. You know what I mean?
Nah, that's inspiring.
that was me. The first one, I didn't know shit. But WordPress, my first hackathon that I did, and we ended up winning. But the clout that I got from winning that really helped me a lot. And the team lead, my team leader of the first one that I did is my lead developer now at the company that I work for.
Nah, that's
So
dope.
it kind
When's
of
your next one? When's the next one?
I'm actually thinking about throwing one. You know, I'm
Nah,
talking to Mocha. I'm talking to I'm trying to figure out where I could do it at Assembly, but you know we just did 2 there, so I kind of want to switch it up. You know, InQ Hub in Hampton, we either gonna do it there. I was thinking about Utopia Fenny, but that's kind of small. You know, there's Slover Library, for
Right,
real.
right.
I
You know
would
what I
say
mean?
that.
Like there's certain ones that I'm trying to figure out exactly how to do it. I have a concept that I'm thinking about. Nobody out there better steal it. I'm looking at my whiteboard. It's gonna be called Build Through Art, right? To kind of throw a
That's
challenge in there, right? So it's gonna be a hackathon where it starts Friday, and maybe it'll just be a pitch competition, cause that way you know it don't have to go the whole weekend. If we do it one day, it's gonna be a pitch competition, and it's gonna be a bunch of people come together with their ideas and their apps, and you're just gonna make a pitch deck. You don't gotta build a whole MVP. But while y'all are linking up and building, there's gonna be performances. There's gonna be live art. There's gonna be a DJ. There's gonna
Oh,
be,
shit.
you know, all. So it's like you're building in a chaotic
Next level shit.
environment, but it's like art going on around you. So that's why it's gonna be called Build Through Art. Or we do it the whole weekend if we're gonna actually build like an MVP that you need to show to get judged at the end. But if I could only get one weekend, one like whole day from 12 to 9 or whatever, and then have
Yo,
the
that'll
judge
be
competition
dope.
at the end.
That'll be super dope to go live at. Have a camera
Yeah,
crew
no,
live
man,
running
y'all trying to
around.
get me to come back down there. Y'all trying to get me to come back down there. I ain't coming.
Right?
Nah, that's dope.
Yeah, man.
So, are there any and I gotta ask this because of my background.
Yeah.
And this is what I used to do with the hacker on the hacker side. Did y'all have any like cybersecurity hackathons where like y'all have systems built and have people try to break into them? Because that's the stuff that I was into. Like actual like hacking, like it's ethical hacking. It's not nothing illegal.
Dang
You
crazy.
know, everything. Yeah, everything. You have permission
Think for
for everything.
yourself.
Yeah, no, it's legit. Like every vendor that's there, they have a system or they'll set up a rack or something, and then you have permission to try to break into it. So it's all legit. But like, do you have stuff like that, or is it just digital application, mobile development?
Yeah, so far it's just been like that, like little like apps. Like there was one dude was making a guitar pedal, like some AI guitar pedal. One dude was making Tinder for family dinners. It was called Yumsy. Like your family
Hey.
goes out to the grocery store, and everyone on the family gets a notification of the food to like swipe right or left if you like it or not, or
That's
to
kinda
vote
fun,
real
actually.
quick. Yeah.
Oh, that's
One person was doing it's called Steal My Outfit, where you take a picture of someone's outfit and AI tells you the cheapest places you could find that same outfit online. Like
oh,
that shit was
word.
cool.
That's dope.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some of the ideas people had. Oh, Traceable, one of my favorite ones. And this is the dude. Y'all, did y'all hear about Mighty Dream?
I don't think
That
so.
jank that came here.
Yeah.
Pharrell did something here called Mighty Dream,
Right.
where it was like the pitch competition thing. The dude who won the 50K.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the same dude who won 50K from Mighty Dream was at this hackathon. I was like, oh shit, I know that guy. I almost tried to join his team, but he was making something called Traceable, where you go like this in the air to the camera and it writes for you.
Yo, that's dope.
So yeah, I was like, man,
dope.
that's sweet. Like to just sit in front of your
Yo.
camera and you're doing like this, and the words are being typed on the screen. So he
That's
was making
ill.
that shit.
The applications for that. What?
Yeah, man.
Nah, that's ill.
There was some
Hey, we
super
can
genius
sit here
kid
for
there
hours.
too. Yeah. There was some super genius kid, man. I had to dap him up. He had dreads. He was like he's been coding Minecraft servers since he was like 7. Super
What?
genius
Whoa.
kid, bro. He had
In Virginia?
Yeah, he's like 14 at the
Something in the
hackathon.
water.
He was like the illest coder there, pretty much. You know, one of
Yeah,
the
that's
OGs
crazy.
came and told me, he was like, "Yo, take care of this kid. Like watch him. You know, make sure he's good this whole weekend. Like I'm telling
Nah, that's
you."
dope.
He was like, "I'm telling you, bro. He's the illest coder in here."
That's the future. That's the future.
That's
Yeah,
fire.
I had to go talk to him. I was like, "I'm proud of you, man. Like I don't know you, but I'm proud of you. You know, keep pushing." It was good to see.
We
Oh, yeah,
definitely can
CTF,
talk
yeah.
for hours about this tech stuff, bro. Look, what's the name of your channel, bro, so people can follow you and keep up with your journey, bro? Because you over there rocking like crazy.
Oh yeah, man. The name of the channel is Lionel the Builder, BLDR. on YouTube, and if you just search the Digital Builder 757, you'll find us on our school.com or the Discord.
So, Frank, got some more
man.
questions over there, Frank?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. We about to jump on to the next. We gotta record. We pumping out these podcast episodes.
This
You
content.
know how we do.
Unify and thrive, y'all. Don't forget that. Unify and thrive. We on to the next, dog. Yeah.
Appreciate you, man. We'll
All
catch you
right.
on the other side.
All right,
Have a good
y'all.
one.
Peace.
Yeah.
Woo, that was dope. Oh shit. I'm still on, right? I'm still live? Okay, cool. Well, that was cool. Let me get my camera back on. Word, that was dope, man. Shout out to figuring shit out for having me on. That was lit. Thank y'all for coming and chilling with us. You know, I see a lot of the homies in the chat. I don't know what do y'all listen to when you code? I usually go straight for this Ryan Celsius dude has a good playlist. This is the one I was listening to earlier. His visuals too. Yeah, I've been telling my girl I'm gonna start sending her videos to go look at next time I go live. So let me see if we got anything interesting to look at. Word. Yeah, if I'm coding, I usually don't listen to lyrics. Man, I was looking at something earlier that was talking about how Elon Musk, that chip that Elon Musk put inside somebody's head can control the mouse on the screen now. Like, are any of y'all pro chip? I know we're all techies in here, but I'm definitely not trying to be the first person or in the first group of people to do that.
Imagine it's 2020, life is good. You just graduated college with 0 years of experience, and in technical interviews, they're asking. Imagine it's 2020 and life is good. You just graduated college with 0 years of experience, and in technical interviews, they're asking you to reverse the rate linear time
I'm not that much of a tech person.
These questions over 100 times on Leap.
Trying to be
You go on blind and ask the community if you should take your $300,000 Facebook offer with a $100,000 sign-on bonus, or go to Stripe, where you hear
Maybe
the
now I
food is
could chill
better.
out on
You
this
dream of being worth
bright-ass
$1 million
lighting,
in
too.
just a few years. Recruiting in 2020 was like playing life on easy mode. Every company under the sun was hiring, and there weren't that many software engineers. So it honestly wasn't that hard to get a high-paying tech job. Those good old days are over, and just like Andy Bernard,
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
because I would have done things differently. The overall market has shifted to becoming much more senior heavy, and I can vouch for this firsthand as someone who's recruited for most of last year, 3 months in the spring and then 3 months in the fall. At the senior and staff plus levels, compensation is just about where it always was, and for some industries like AI, even higher than usual. I read somewhere that engineers at OpenAI can make over $1 million a year, which is crazy. So today, I want to talk about the state of the software engineering market. Why is it the way it is? And then more importantly, what are we going to do about it? How can you remain competitive and stand out in an increasingly competitive market? If you don't know who I am, hi, my name is Naman. I graduated college in 2020 and then joined a fintech startup in San Francisco called Bolt. I was there for 3 years before I got laid off, which puts me at just 3 years of experience, much less than the 5 to 7 years of experience most software engineering jobs today require. So trust me, I have felt this pain. How the turntables.
Yeah, bro.
And I'm here to tell you how to overcome it. This video is the first in a multi-part series documenting my entire recruiting experience. Part 1, this video explains
Neil
why it's so hard to
Anderson
get
in
a
the
tech job
building.
right now. Part 2 walks you through every single interview question I ever
the
got,
red
because
pill.
yes, I documented everything. And then part 3, TBD, if I get a job, pray for me, then we'll also talk about that. Now, I'm not alone. Many people in the industry have been feeling this sentiment, including Software Engineering Diaries, who posted this video just a couple months back. Let's start off by talking about why this is happening. Why is the market so biased towards seniority? Well, let's go to LinkedIn. Right now, if you search for entry-level software engineering jobs, you'll be hard
Hold up, just because we on topic, who here? I'm gonna come back to that. But have y'all done this one? What is it? It's like you're coding the next big thing. I forget who put me onto this one, But all of this music is from the movie The Social Network. And this really goes. It really goes. Man, I was cooking for like 8 hours straight listening to this. Shit had me feeling like I was really about to like crack the code. I was just drinking coffee too, just like that. I kept looking at his screen. I was drinking coffee. It was like 3 a.m. I was just rolling off this fucking this same song. I knew it, man. I knew it. This shit has, okay, yeah, 205K. I feel like all of us use this, man, for real, at one point. But if y'all don't, you're coding the next big thing. Look it up. It's a good one.
Press to find anything. Even listings that don't have the word staff or senior require 3 to 5 years of experience, and sometimes even graduate level degrees like masters or PhDs. In fact, I can't remember the last time I saw the word new grad anywhere. The lowest title I've seen is software engineering 2, which still means a mid-level software engineer with about 3 years of experience. And this makes sense because a lot of my junior engineer friends are having so much trouble even getting interviews.
I had to tell my girl, man, that I feel like during the day, for some reason, I'm not as productive as those nights. Those nights when it's like midnight is when I really kick in into my highest productivity for some reason. But then it starts to go down around 2. Around 2, I might as well just go to sleep, especially if I'm hitting errors. If I'm hitting errors and it's late, like at a certain point, you got to just stop, especially if you got to work the next day. You know what I mean? Yo, what up, Brian? Bro, if you got to work the next day, I've done that. I'm sure we all have done that, where you code till like 5 and then you crash and then you wake up at like 8 or 10 or whatever, you know, and you feel foggy and messed up. So I'd stop myself purposely at 2 now, no matter what. But every once in a while, you got to pull that all-nighter, man. Every once in a while.
Interviews. If we think about software engineers more broadly as a pyramid, then we have the more junior, inexperienced engineers at the very bottom, and they make the bulk of this pyramid. Then we have some mid-level engineers, then the senior staff, and then the god-tier engineers at the very top. So this is the supply. To get a rough idea of demand, we can follow the general US economy, and that usually means looking at an index fund like the S&P 500, which tracks the 500 largest companies. And as you can see, from 2020 to 2022, we saw a bull run like we've never seen before. It was COVID, people were home, spending more money online, and software business.
Shout out to Brian real quick. P40 Network, Express Transportation, Crypto Corner.
Businesses were booming. Inflation was low and money was cheap, so in such an economy, companies adopt a growth at all cost mentality. And the fastest way to show growth is to build more products and invest in new revenue streams, which means you hire a ton, and you don't care about years of experience. You just need manpower. You already have some tenured engineers, you have a roadmap, so all you need is all hands on deck writing code. So from 2020 to 2022, it was reasonably easy to get a high-paying tech job. But then COVID-19 hit, and companies started decreasing the perks and benefits they offered. There was no in-person work anymore, so no free food. You couldn't really go anywhere, so no happy hours and events. And this is important because it started a trend of cost cutting. Because when you lower costs, you instantly see a higher profit, because profit is just revenue minus.
He has a mic on a stick.
Cost. And that means analysts on Wall Street start looking more favorably at your company, which means the stock price goes up. Now, I'm simplifying a lot, but hopefully you get the gist. So then what happens in
I just now started talking, kind of putting feelers out there a little bit about my hackathon. First, I tried to partner with 757 Build Weekend, who was the one they did the first 2. And I tried to tell them, like, look, bro, I got a major movement brewing over here, and I would rather partner than to do a separate hackathon than you. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like collaboration is just better. You know what I mean? And especially since this dude used to work for Apple, and he really does. I watched him cook. Like, we went to ODU, spoke in front of the kids. Like, they're connected to the ODU University. And, like, I know that I have the idea, but I don't necessarily want to, like, do all of the work myself. You know what I mean? I know I got, like, Neil to help me and other people to help me, but it's a lot of work getting hackathons together. And not only that, you have to get all of the developers together. This guy, I was like, bro, can we work out some type of some type of connection here, and we've been kind of talking a little bit, but it's looking like I might have to just try and rock it out myself for the most part. But
2022. Well, COVID starts ending and the world basically goes back to normal, but not the good old days, because
check. There we go. My bad. My setup is so janky, bro. If I do the most slightest movement on this USB thing, I got one of those USB plugins where you plug a bunch of different things into the one, because I got my mic, I got the light, I got the camera, and I have the second monitor with a laptop that only has two USBs, and my mouse is plugged into it too. So if I touch that thing in any kind of way, like, I gotta be super careful. It just wipes everything out and I have to restart. But looks like my sound is good now. Let me test this one.
because we enter a recession, since
Okay.
inflation is at a
Cool. But I don't know exactly where I got cut off, but basically, yeah, man, this thing, I'm like, I need to get a better one or something, or like duct tape this shit together. But hey, we just started, we rocking with what we got for now. But yeah, like I was saying, the dude who did the past two hackathons, I'm really cool with him. But I think he might have been thinking that I'm trying to like get him to do all the work for me, which that isn't it. I just know that like it's a lot of shit to do a hackathon on your own, and I'm sure I could do it, but I just feel like we're better if we work together than apart. But regardless, I still have started putting some feelers out there. Like, I got the homegirl with the art gallery on Campsville Road called Utopia Fenny. Only problem is that place is super small. Like, it's cool, but it's small. So I don't know if we would really want to be there a whole weekend. Although the location is dope, there's food spots around there. Probably better than Assembly, because you got like, I don't know, there's an IHOP across the street. There's like a movie theater right there. There's a vegan spot right there. But it would definitely not be as spread out and open and luxurious as Assembly. We could definitely do it in Assembly, but that's where we did the first two. Neil was saying that Mocha would be dope, and I do have a connection to Mocha. This dude Kello, I need to talk to him about it. We got the Slover Library, which is a huge dope building, and we have IncuHub. So I really feel like we need to activate on that though. Like, sooner would be better than later. What's this? February? Like, maybe we could get something going in May if I started now. You know what I mean? Like, why not? Why wait? Um, and yeah, but it is a lot. I mean, as long my biggest, I guess, worry, I just want to make sure that the developers really show up, because the Build Weekend 757 has like the dude, like, they got all the real wizards. You know what I mean? They all always show up. So I maybe that's like a confidence thing, me thinking like, will they really come for just me? You know what I mean? I'm not one of those guys. You know what I mean? We wrapped up. They do a short podcast, only like 30 minutes episodes, and then they go shoot other episodes for their YouTube. But that was cool, man. We might have to do that again sometime. But How y'all are y'all feeling this video, or should I switch it up? If anybody got a video worth watching, pull it up. He's just talking about the job industry, but I don't know. I wasn't really feeling that one too much for some reason. What else we got? Yeah, if anybody, I heard that you can't really post links in here for some reason. So we got the Discord. If anyone has a video worth watching, let's see what we got. Maybe we'll see something here for something that's on target. I've been looking at so much like YouTube related stuff, it kind of messed up my algorithm a little bit. I have no time to create. I could kind of relate to that. Yo, this dude is he's a builder. I know this dude. We need to get him some views.
Beautiful people, welcome back. My name is Matthew Holland, and my goal is
He's
to
in the
teach you
school.
all the actual tested tips
Yo, this dude here is in our school, by the way.
and tricks for you to be successful and get what you want in life.
Do
So,
use-
that being said, today we're going to talk about incentives, and more importantly, how to make money with them.
This
Stick around for the
emoji
second
is in the
example
way.
because that one's going to show you.
So for my day-to-day job, luckily I don't use CSS because I'm not really interested in the front end like that for real. I'm more so right now I'm doing back end work and integrating the front end to the back end, but it's all like infrastructure. It's all working on the database structure, the document structure, the user interface, managing the global state, writing React hooks to like hook into the state and make shit happen, managing the routes. We have an entire, if y'all don't know, I work for a startup, right? Where the MVP has been built already. MVP stands for minimum. My bad. MVP stands for minimum viable product, and that is already built, and they're shopping it around for investors and such. And while that happens, the project has already been funded. So my team is building out the actual production version of that. So we're basically going through and like revamping everything, making it actually, all of the improvements, because the MVP is very minimal and there's a lot of room for improvement. Like there's a lot of things that have been left for us to do, like error handling and the proper global state and stuff like that. Yo, let's look at something by Primogen. This is Yoda right here. I'm sure he's gonna say there's gonna be something important. Remote work 1. Programmers gone in 5 years. That would be so crazy if we react to him reacting to another video on some Inception shit. We do not. No, we don't use Agile and Scrum. We use this thing called Linear. I guess you could. This could kind of be considered Scrum. I'm thinking like, wait, there's nothing classified in here, is there? I'm pretty sure they don't watch my YouTube anyway. But yeah, this doesn't matter. So we use this project management thing here where we have all of these different issues that we're gonna do, right? And we kind of like, everything has a date on the side of when it should be done, and then with this you can like assign it to different people and stuff like that, and we can all leave comments on it on what we're working on. Since we work remote, I'm just gonna pick a random one here. So yeah, nothing's in here because I went to the random ones, but yeah, this is way further down the line. This is stuff that we did in the past, and after you do it, you can click off that you did it. You can leave comments on it. You can post screenshots in here. We also use Notion, which is like a note-taking app. We use that to look at like different things, wireframes, if we need to look at like stuff like that, And that's how we work. But I guess that could be considered Scrum, right? Scrum is the project management I forget what it stands for. Game devs are drowning in complication. How to 10x engineer correctly. Looks like I watched half of that. This might be good.
In and standard out, and then using
This dude always gives good advice.
how to be a negative 10x engineer. We used to always make this joke at Netflix that we had a lot of 10x engineers. All the 10x engineers just made 10x more work for everybody else. Plus 10x engineers may be mythical, but negative 10x engineers exist, absolutely. To become a negative 10x engineer, you simply needs to wait 400 engineering hours per week. Combine the following strategies. This is great. This is great. Nullify the output of 10 engineers. Change the requirements as far into development as possible to avoid blame, obfuscate requirements from the start. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, but I would
Oh, this is like how to be bad, basically, is what they're saying.
call this. I would just call this regular work. This sounds like a Scrum Master. All right, create 400
That's funny,
hours
you
of
just
busy work.
mentioned
Ask
Scrum.
your team to perform tasks that resemble work. Common examples include presentations, diagrams, ticket management. Create pointless rituals. This is so good. Oh, this just you could just got kicked in the Agile right there. No, man, Agile's really good. Or let me just hold on 1 second. Hold on just 1 second. You know what I think we're missing? Let's have a retro about how our last week went. You know, let's just talk about it because I feel like there's some complicated things there. Boom. 1 hour across 5 people. You just went, I mean, you literally got over.
Yo, I cannot stand the meetings about meetings about meetings. I was just talking to this dude who said we need to have a meeting for that. And I was like, bro, if we have one more fucking meeting about another meeting, bro. He said we had literally just left the meeting, right? And then 2 people split off to go talk about something that was important. They were actually building, like someone had a pitch deck and the other person was building, and then, you know, the other person was like, bro, we need to have a meeting. I'm like, nah, bro, we do not need
over
to have
1% of your goal in a single phrase. Think about that for a second. 400 hours of burnout turnover. Okay. Be thankless. Foist blame. Sow confusion. Get angry. Cause others to work overtime. Interesting. Okay. One time I had this thing that I still to this day am a little bit salty about. To this day, I'm still pretty salty about it. I'm still very salty about this. Okay. I'm very salty. Okay. I'm going to be real here. I'm actually pretty dang salty, and it's like 10 years later. Okay. I was working at a company called Workiva. I won't name anybody, but one of the teams decided to make a change to their software. And the change was that they're going to have a default options have a certain set of things on it. So therefore, they're going to reduce some set of production bugs by having default options contain certain values. And here's the deal. They didn't tell anybody, and they published the software under a patch version. You're probably thinking, why was it a patch version? Well, the original input to this was in Python, of course, and when you originally instantiated this had to do with kerning of characters and all that. When you originally instantiated it,
Wait a minute.
you could pass nothing.
I just realized y'all can't see him. My bad. I'm watching this in the other screen. Also, am I frozen again? Hold up. My bad. I'm tripping.
in, and it would instantiate. But not all the default options were filled in. So they just made
I'm
their own
definitely
default options,
frozen.
right? They just did their own thing
Is
and
the
just
mic
threw it in
working?
there. Now, here's the deal. They didn't change any interface at all. So since they did not add to an interface, that's not minor. Since they didn't break a contract, it's not major.
Yeah.
It's a patch
gotta get
version.
a
They only
new
changed
shit,
inside
man.
the function, but they literally changed it. I forgot to turn off the alerts. Thank you, Lithium. They changed it inside the function. So new defaults came out of nowhere. They just chose defaults that they decided. And so, of course, they
I
published
literally
it.
can't
We
move
pulled it into production. And the next thing you
without
know,
that shit
I am
happening.
off trying to fix some stupid-ass bugs in production. And I go over and say, yo, what's going on here? It's like this whole thing changed. And they said, what do you mean? And I'm like, it used to work
Yo,
in
how many of y'all here
081,
have
and it
seen,
doesn't work in
have seen Silicon Valley? Because this is making me think about Big Head, which is would be a good time. I know I'm hopping around. Y'all know I have ADHD, but it would be a good thing to go over for all the juniors out there, because there was a time where And I mean, shit, I always try to remember this purposely because I don't want to be big head. This is about a dude who, in this show, in the beginning at least, he's the weakest link, right? And this is how I felt after doing my first hackathon. I saw this scene and I was like, oh no, oh no. Don't tell me that I'm big head. This is the exact...
Smoked you and now...
Don't be a dick.
Mushroom stamp!
You're being a dick.
Oh, there you go. Show that to your mom.
Mushroom stamp. That's great. Hey, what do you guys think about this Jared? He's shit, right?
No, he's pretty sharp.
Yeah, he does shit that no one else in the house can do.
Yeah, but he's a know-it-all. I mean, I don't think there's room in here for him.
Well, there will be after Richard gets rid of Big Head.
Wait, Richard's getting rid of Big Head? Why?
Listen, we all love Big Head, but the truth is he's not as good of a coder as I am, not as good at system architecture as Guilfoyle, not as good at being a prick as you. No offense.
Yeah, he's a lightweight at everything. Brings nothing to the table.
Him getting points would be a big fuck you to all of us. But he's a great guy.
Great guy. But useless.
Yeah, he is a great guy. Not like that Jared. At least we can all agree on that.
See, it's cool
I
to
would
be
not
cool,
want to be Richard right now.
but you gotta know
You
your
need to tell
shit
Big Head that
at
he's
the same
out?
time.
This is gonna sound super mean, but the other night he was sleeping, I was just staring at his face. All I could think was, he's utterly useless. Big Head is a man with zero purpose.
Oh, hi. Hi, Big Head.
Hey,
How's it going?
super good right now. I'm just gonna maybe like go for a bike ride real fast and clear my head. I'll see you.
Bike safe.
Yeah, enjoy it.
That was nice, guys. He heard everything.
That doesn't make it not true.
I mean, come on, Richard. As far as Pied Piper is concerned, he's as pointless as Mass Effect 3's multiple endings. I mean, he's a completely useless appendage, and we all know it. Oh, hey, man.
Forgot my water bottle. Just gonna grab it and then probably walk right back through one more time.
I mean, Mass Effect 3? Harsh.
I didn't mean for him to hear it, but it was true.
I mean, we all called him a great guy, but he didn't overhear any of that.
God damn, he's still not answering. You know, I'm actually kind of worried about him.
You know, if he's gone, like really truly gone, in a way, that kind of solves your problem. I mean, like, if he's dead...
Are you trying to say that Big Head might be dead? That doesn't help at all. How is that helping?
I'm just saying that that's a possible thing that could have happened to him. It could happen to anybody.
It's like his
And in
best
this
friend,
case,
but he can't
at
code
least
that
something
good.
good came out of it.
What's the good part?
You don't have to have an awkward conversation.
I think I saw this one say.
I told you there's no demo. I'm making my recipe app.
You're gonna walk away from $200,000.
Ehrlich? Just FYI, I actually did some image recognition stuff on Nip Alert. So maybe you could hire me to help on the demo. Because my dad's been like kind of on me lately to like get a job or go to school because he's upset that I lost all that money on Piper Chat. And then also you helped me lose that 20 million on Bachmanity.
Big Head, Jin Yang's culture, he's Chinese. Won't allow him to accept outside help.
Oh, right, because of Chinese. Okay, well, that makes sense.
If either of you could aid in the construction of this image recognition software, I can pay you handsomely.
That's why you gotta know your shit, man. That's my
smoked you, and
that's my motivation to become a better at coding. Basically, you know, we all gotta always strive to not be big.
082, what happened? And they're like, oh, we changed the defaults. And then I said, why didn't you bump that like as a major change or a minor change? They're like, oh, well, the interface didn't change. And I was like, no, but it really did change, like implicitly, like you're changing
Yo, what up, bro?
what was happening.
We just
And they're
watching
like, no, it didn't
random
change. We're not going
videos
to do
right
it.
now.
And so, like, I've had something like this happen, where it's just like you sow confusion, You create people to go work overtime to go figure out some nonsense because things are breaking in production all over the place.
I wish I could take a break, bro.
But there's
it's
absolutely
too much,
sorry,
too much
that's
going on
how
right now.
that's how Semver works. And you're like, no, it's it's how Semver works, but no.
I was just thinking, like, at what point is it better to take a break? At what point is your productivity, 50% because you haven't taken a day off in so long? 'Cause I've definitely been grinding, bro, for like the past, like, I know even with posting videos, I've posted like 23 days in a row, one, sometimes two, couple times 3 videos, and then after that I'm coding. But right now at work I can't stop because we're in my project manager's words, failure is not an option this week. So I was like, oh, that's scary, man. That's serious. We gotta push through. Word. Yeah, man, it really is sometimes.
Oh, it's not.
Right?
No, it's not, Lithium. You're not working overtime with me. And I just, oh man, I hated it. I'm still salty to this day, and it's why I hate Semver. Like, to this day, I hate.
I'm glad that this is all I do now, though, for real. Like, I'm really happy now because, I really fought hard for this to be able to only do this, but it just happened. I'm still in like the beginning of it. So when you first get there, it's like, all right, I got to make sure that this shit, works out. Because that would really suck to have to go back to the office and go back to like whatever else.
Hate Semver because of that. It's an incomplete thing. When people dogmatically follow Semver, it's the worst. I think you should just simply follow it like the heart, not the letter. And it goes way better.
Projects, most definitely projects. The hard part about projects is then it's like, well, what do you build? Because there's courses and then there's tutorials. And a lot of times with tutorials, you're just following, you're just copying, right? So are you even really learning with tutorials? Like, I don't know if y'all saw the digital builders. Yeah, you got to build this product. Even with this thing here, when I built this, it was following a tutorial. So when you come in here, there is a chat and the chat works. But if I was to try and build this again, like I followed a tutorial for this live chat here, which the pictures still don't work. But honestly, I would have to look all of this stuff up again to do it again. Because, let me move that out of the way. Because when I built it, I was following a tutorial. And I did have a agenda. The reason that I went with this specific framework, this specific tech stack, was because this is what my job uses today. And I was really just trying to copy because I had a copy of the repo. So I was just trying to understand it more. So I made the Digital Builder 757 modeled after what my job now uses, the same tech stack. But if I was to try and rebuild the chat portion, I was thinking about that the other day. Like, I honestly have no idea how I even did this. And that was because I followed a tutorial. Now, and I've thought about that too. Like, maybe I should hop live and build something. Like, together, right? We do a tutorial or, build something like this, like the live chat, and then try and pause and actually understand what's going on. And maybe that would help all of us soak some new information in, practice. But I do also think that the more that you do something, the better you get at it, like building components and stuff like that. I was looking at the React docs today, for example, which is one of the best documentation out there. And I keep, like, literally every day, I'm going back to this thing and reading from top to bottom because I use React every day and still I don't feel like I'm a React master. You know what I mean? Or it'll probably take you long as hell to be a master, but I at least want to like be super clear on everything that's going on. You know what I mean? Like I see that they have a tic-tac-toe tutorial here right on the documentation. And I think that that's pretty cool that you could go through here and learn how to build this. I haven't tried it, but you know, yeah, if we go to quick start, you learn how to create and nest components, how to add markup styles, how to display data, how to render conditions and lists, how to respond to events and update the screen, how to share data between components. All of this stuff I'm using on my day-to-day job. So it's going to greatly benefit me. I also write stuff down. For some reason, writing things down, I feel like helped me to sink it in a bit more. But yeah, they're creating and nesting components. Like this is a button component here. And then you know how it returns the JSX. And here it is. Here's the button. Welcome to my app. You know, this is JavaScript. You know, I know a lot of y'all are just starting with JavaScript, and React is a framework, a JavaScript framework, basically like a framework built on top of JavaScript, but you also can use TypeScript and JSX with it as well. Writing markup with JSX. That's also cool that you can do that. If y'all, is it markup or markdown? What is markup? The markup syntax you've seen above is called so JSX is technically markup. And JSX is JavaScript written with like an HTML structure, as far as I know, right? But yeah, right. You can add styles straight to it. Use it to display data. Yeah, React has really good documentation. So if we I don't know how good y'all can see this, but this type of stuff is really what you're going to be using every day if you're using a React project. Like this here is a user object, right? And just to give a little JavaScript, talk, we could talk about JavaScript. Like, what is an object? An object is anything, right? Just like a water bottle is an object. So if we were building this in JavaScript, you would say const, which is basically a constant, meaning that it can't ever be changed, right? That's how you're declaring a variable, or you can declare an object that way too. Const user. This would say water bottle, but in this case, it's a user as in the user that's signing into the website. And then you just put equals and you put your curly braces for the beginning and the end, and that shows you that's the entire object. Whatever's written inside here is the properties. And now here you can put whatever you want. You can put function, you can put string, you can put date. And most of the time when you're working with a website and you're signing into the website, that little form that you're filling out when you go to like Facebook or anything, and you're putting your email, you're putting your first name, you're putting your last name, you're literally building the user object. That input that you're putting in is going and filling out this. It's putting your name. And then it even has shit in there that you're not typing. Like created at, and then it'll have some logic for the server timestamp to put the date that you created it at. And then it'll even have a Boolean, right? Just so that everybody's on the same page. A Boolean is a true or false statement. So the Boolean inside the user object would be like is online. And then there may be another one like is active user. Because sometimes when you know how with Facebook you can deactivate your Facebook, but it doesn't delete all of your information. It leaves it there. And when you hit that you deactivated your Facebook, all that did was it changed your is active user property on your user object. It changed it from true to false. So now you can't like log in. If someone was to search for your name, it's not going to show up. But in the back end, your user object is still, all your information is still filled up in there for you to turn it on whenever you want. And then it'll change is active user to true when you go through and you reverse the deactivation. But since this is React, we have, that's the user. export default function profile. So this is the user. This is a React component here for the called profile, and you can tell because it's a capital P. The lowercase one tells you this is an object, and plus I think function 2 is another clue that this is a component, right? Because it's a function. And then it's returning the JSX, which is going to display it here. And there's an H1 that says user.name. And see, here is the user. She was created, Heidi Lamar. So then that's placed inside the component, inside of the H1 tag. So now you get to display this. And then you get the image of their profile. Let's see what this shit. So this here image URL must be when they say like in the Jake where you're filling out the thing and it says update your profile. See, then as a component, it all gets put here. And so it returns JSX, which is HTML mixed with JavaScript. And that's how you get your React UI, user interface. Cut me off if I'm saying the wrong shit or something like that. Feel free to correct me in the chat because I'm freestyling. In the above example, style is not a special syntax, but a regular curly braces object inside the style JSX curly braces. You can use style attributes when styles depend on JavaScript variables. So that's talking about writing styles into your JSX components, which I have never done personally. I believe Neil has done that before, but I'm more so of like a Bootstrap Chakra UI using type of dude. In React, there is no special syntax for writing conditions. Instead, you'll use the same techniques as you use when writing regular JavaScript code. For example, you can use if statements to conditionally include JSX. Let content if is logged in, so that's if the user is logged in. Content equals admin panel. Okay, so that must be like if the admin user is logged in, right? Or else the content. So if you're not logged in, the what's going to show on your page will be the login form. This is like routing, right? To make sure that you're at the right part of the website. And then if else and then return, it will return. If you are logged in, it will return a div with the content, and the content is admin panel. I wish that they had like where we could see that one on the side. If you prefer more compact code, you can use conditional question mark operator. Unlike if, it works inside JSX. Div is logged in admin panel, login form, div. So this is just showing different ways to be able to do that. When you don't need the else branch, you can also use a shorter logical and syntax. So and that's the thing about React and about coding in general, right? There's so many different ways to do the same thing. So it can be a little confusing, and people can always argue what's the best way to do something. Is it that way? And then it's like, if you prefer more compact, you could just do it that way. But when you don't need the else branch, if you don't need like a if else statement, you can just straight up show it in a div. All of these approaches also work for conditionally specifying attributes. If you're unfamiliar with some of this JavaScript syntax, you can start by using the if-else. Rendering lists. Yo, what up, Adrian? We just going over, I don't know how we ended up doing this, but we're going over React documentation right now. Const list items. Products, so they're mapping over this product list here. So this is a object which is a array of products. Cabbage ID 1, garlic ID 2, apple ID 3. So this is a grocery list array. When you will rely on JavaScript features, a for loop, and the array map function to render lists of components first. So if you wanted to show this, so you have an array of groceries with a corresponding ID for each. Each of these, would this be considered an object? Well, the products is the array. Each array, yeah, there's 3 objects. Yeah, so these are objects with 2 properties. Title, cabbage, and then each of them has an ID. Inside your component use the map function to transform an array of products into an array of list items. So in order to get your products array, which is more like back end, to show on the front end UI using React, you would do const list items equals products dot map. You're mapping over that products list, meaning like going from one to the other, rendering it into a list and just showing the product and its ID, or the ID in the title, actually. I wish they show. Okay, here it is right here. So this is what it would look like after being shown, you know, this way. Notice how each list has a key attribute. For each item in the list, you should pass a string or a number that uniquely identifies that item among its siblings. Usually a key should be coming from your data, such as database ID. React uses your keys to know what's happened if you later insert, delete, or reorder the items. Word. So const products. Title cabbage is fruit. False. ID 1. Title garlic is fruit. False. ID 2. So this is an array of the products. And then export. So this is when you're rendering it with the export, rendering it for the UI. Oh, yeah. It's all good, man. We did I did an interview with a podcast. That's how I ended up going live. And then we just been chilling since then. But we were watching videos, Primogen videos earlier. Did a little big head off of Silicon Valley too. But yeah, we're just vibing right now, checking out these React documentation. Export default function shopping list, const list item products map. So he's mapping over that list items, product key, product ID, style. Throw a little bit of CSS in there. I guess that's why this one is highlighted, the Apple one. Is if it's fruit, then it has that color and dark green. That's why the one apple looks different than the rest. Product title, list item. So yeah, they're just showing how to do different stuff. Check out the React documentation. I look at this every single day, and I pretty much study it because right now I'm actually working with use state in my project, making sure that our state is managed correctly throughout our application. So I've been pretty much living inside this documentation here, and I need to keep looking at it and studying it over and over again until I can, like, you know, easily decipher and read the stuff, and then be able to look at my project and see the comparisons between the documentation and our project, what we could do better, because there's always so many different ways of doing different things, and it's pretty much my job to like decide what's the best route and way to do the things that we need to do. Yeah, man, JavaScript is honestly my favorite language. I mean, I know I don't. Yeah, this is reading documentation. And from what I've heard from my elders is that this is a superpower. Reading documentation will put you up as a developer. And it has tutorials too, so take your time with it. You know, and you'll learn a lot about this. Like you could technically type in React. Let's what's a React thing we could do? Everybody builds a to-do list, right? To-do list React. Everybody, you're gonna find a million of these, right? So you could build a simple, and that's what I did over here. I even got one. I never finished it. I put different things here because when I was first thinking about the digital builders, I wanted to give like habits that would be good for someone trying to learn to code, because I felt like I had to go through a whole transformation to even be used to coding every day versus all the other stuff I was doing. So I had 7 things. I call them the 7 paths, right? Y'all know I'm a big anime ninja type of fan, right? So 7 paths were like 7 things that if I did these 7 things every day, I would be able to be a better developer. Sleep 8 hours, write anything, meditate/pray, exercise, take a cold shower, and work on a goal. And I had an idea to build this into some type of app where all of these things would be hidden until you did one 10 times in a row. So over here, you can make a streak. Oh, you can't even see. Over here, you can make it go up. I never got it to work properly because if you click this, they go away. And if you refresh the page, it breaks. So I started this thing and I never finished it. My favorite anime is probably Samurai Champloo, but that's just like nostalgia. I tried to go back and rewatch it, and it's not that. It's gonna sound basic if I say Naruto, but man, it really might just be Naruto, honestly. But yeah. So I started one, but I was saying so do a to-do list app or something like that, right? But don't just follow that. You have to also look at the documentation so that and break out your notebook and actually like understand, take your time. Because when I learned to code, I skipped a lot of shit, skipped a lot of steps. I'm glad that I did because I got a job, but I'm also like not glad that I did because I see where all the holes in my knowledge are that I'm trying to go back through now and patch up. And it's like, it's tough. Oh yeah, JoJo. JoJo is goated for sure. Like I need to rewatch that one too. The fight scenes in that are so good. Did I ever finish that one? Demon Slayer is hardcore too. The first season is so good. I see you got the One Piece icon. Dope. One of the best. Yeah. That's actually what I was thinking instead of JoJo. I was thinking of Jujutsu Kaisen. But yeah, JoJo is good too. The art style, it took me like I don't really vibe with the art style of JoJo, but I've always heard good things about it though, for real. But yeah. So yeah, man, you got your React documentation that you could go through. Once you get your JavaScript, I would say if you've never finished a full JavaScript course, you might want to do that first before you start on React, because React, you're using JavaScript. Like how I was talking about these being functions here. You might not know what a function is if you never did a JavaScript course. Yeah. Documentation is the cheat code. And this is where a lot of developers slack, myself included, slack on pouring through the documentation. Because, there's been so many times, I was just telling Neil about it, where literally a week ago, right? Or maybe like four or 5 days ago, I spent probably 4 hours trying to get something to work with ChatGPT, where I was going back and forth with ChatGPT. But because ChatGPT is it's outdated, right? And software moves so fast these days. These things are constantly being updated. ChatGPT is so behind on so many different things that it'll spin you in circles and it won't even be able to understand what it's doing wrong. But the problem is it's giving you a solution from 6 months ago. And all I had to do when I finally gave up of working with ChatGPT and trying to get ChatGPT to do my job for me, I was like, man, let me check the documentation just to see. And I went to this testing library thing, and in bold letters, front page, it said like, make sure you do not do it this way. Instead, do it this way. And I was like, oh my God. I tried it and it worked. The error code went away right away. So I could have saved myself about 4 hours if I would have just went to the documentation. So now I've gotten better at noticing when ChatGPT is doing that, when it's like messing up in that way. And I go straight to the documentation, or if not that, I go to Stack Overflow. I'll copy and paste whatever error code I'm trying to do, and I'll explain it as well as I can in a Google search, and then I'll read around. There's also a lot of YouTube videos of people dealing with that specific problem. Like if you're dealing with a problem with the API or whatever framework you're working with and whatever error code you're dealing with, describe it to Google because you're not the first one. There's billions of people on this planet, millions of developers out there. Whatever, I've never had a problem that no one else has had online. And it'll say literally the same thing. It'll be like, I'm using Node version 18 and I'm trying to get this thing to install, this dependency or whatever is going on, and I'm getting this error code. And it'll be like 5 different things that you can try that ChatGPT doesn't even know about half of the time. Yeah, I wish, like, they talk about ChatGPT taking our jobs. Like, if you really try to code with ChatGPT for real, you'll see it's not nowhere near being able to do this type of stuff without our help. It really needs direction. It really needs specifics. Like, there's way too many variables that come into play. I don't know, I can't speak for 5 years from now, maybe, but for now, it's not even close. It's a good helper though. Don't get me wrong. It's a good assistant. Yeah, man. Anime like takes so much time. There's anything that's not a movie for me. Like when I think about series, I think about that's a lot of episodes, man. Especially some of the anime. Like there's so many different episodes. And you think about the time that it takes, it's like, damn, you just spent a lot of time. Like, time is our most valuable resource. You got to be super careful. Yeah, I do have ChatGPT 4, bro. And even with that, like, I have to work. I noticed that the best thing to do, the most update thing that you could do is work within the ChatGPT builder. Where you go to build your own personal ChatGPTs. I have been working with one for a while now. And the cool thing about that is you can upload up to 20 pictures. And it'll consider every single screenshot that you send to it. And then if you need to just add more, you just got to delete the older ones that you don't need anymore. But even with this one GPT that is 4 that I've been configuring, it still cannot code as good as you would want it to. And every time I hit like, okay, I think you got it now, right? Let me update this and use it outside of the builder. The where you're customizing and configuring it. If I take it out of there, the ability of it immediately tanks, like back to normal. I'll be like, what? No, like that's not it. You just tried to, it's just so many different variables. It works best when you're creating the ChatGPT, and you can use it as if, it's the main screen. You can use it in the back end when you're configuring it. Just use it over there. And it seems like that's where you have access to like modern information, and its abilities for some reason are turned up inside. I can show y'all where it's better than I can explain it. Over here in the in this thing, if you have the one that you pay for, right? You go to where is it? Explore GBTs, my GBTs. You go to like, create, and then you go over here and you use it on this side. This is the best place to use. This is the most skilled ChatGPT that you can have. It's right over here to the left. I can see that. I wonder why does my cursor not show up when I'm streaming? It's weird. I did hear about Sora, and I see a lot of people talking about like, what is the deal with Sora and with people being scared of artificial intelligence videos. Could somebody please explain to me what is so terrifying about animated videos? I have a conspiracy that the same way that the news spins people around, our parents, and freaks them out, that's what happens on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I was to make a YouTube video that said, watch out, AI videos are coming, nobody's gonna be safe, that it would go viral and I would get a whole bunch of different views. Because let's look. AI Sora videos. Okay. AI is here. Can you tell what's real? He's not real. You can't trust video anymore. Tell me that's not fear mongering. You can't trust video anymore? I mean, I guess if it was to be like a bomb striking some city or something, but what is the example? What is the example where a video, an animated fake video ruins, messes us up? OpenAI released the best video by far. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. Maybe I need to stay off Facebook, because people really have been tripping on Facebook about this. People could create any type of video or voice and try to fuck you up. What is the scare? What is the potential? Like, I really need to know, because I have never had a video like really do me damage like that though. You know what I mean? Oh, Fireship made one on it? This is one of my favorite YouTubers. Very curious to see what he has to
Yesterday,
say.
OpenAI unleashed their latest monstrosity on humanity, and it's truly mind-blowing. I hope you enjoy a good existential crisis, because what you're about to see is one small step for man and one giant leap for artificial kind. We all knew that better AI video models were coming, but OpenAI's Sora just took things beyond our wildest expectations. It's the first AI to make realistic videos up to a minute long. In today's video, we'll look at what this text-to-video model can actually do, figure out how it works under the hood, and pour one out for all the humans that became obsolete this time. It is February 16th, 2024.
Is that it? Humans becoming obsolete? Like videographers, people who do commercials or animation like Disney? Maybe Disney and Pixar are going to lose their jobs if AI can just create the video. But that would be, to me, I mean, that would suck to lose an industry like that. But I feel like I would love to be able to create a movie off of an idea, off of a book. Like, I got so many ideas in my head of like animes and different storylines that I can't wait until I can just talk to ChatGPT and have them create a fight scene or something like that. Would be sick.
And you're watching The Code Report. When I woke up yesterday, Google announced Gemini 1.5 with a context window up to 10 million tokens. That was an incredible achievement that was also blowing people's minds, but Sundar was quickly overshadowed by Sam Altman, who just gave us a preview of his new friend, Sora, which comes from the Japanese word for sky. It's a text-to-video model, and all the video clips you're seeing in this video have been generated by Sora. It's not the first AI video model. We already have open models like Stable Video Diffusion and private products like Pika, but Sora blows everything out of the water. Not only are the images more realistic, but they can be up to a minute long and maintain cohesion
Now that's scary.
between frames. They can also be rendered in different aspect ratios. They can either be created from a text prompt where you describe what you want to see, or from a starting image that gets brought to life. Now, my initial thought was that OpenAI cherry-picked all these examples, but it appears that's not the case, because Sam Altman was taking requests from the crowd on Twitter and returning examples within.
So what if every YouTuber will just be AI? That is kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, if it could create stuff this good, and then what if with one click of a button there will be millions of fucking videos where, it's just like me right now on the screen reacting to something? That is kind of trippy. But then I feel like at that point still, with you being a human being there's gotta be, like, y'all know how ChatGPT writes blogs. You can always tell when ChatGPT is writing the blog. I feel like the humans that take their time to give value and real human interaction, like AI, at least not yet, I don't think AI can stand toe to toe with a human being. You know what I mean? We're always going to be funnier, right? We always should be more captivating. We always should have more charisma. We always should have, you know, at least for now, maybe the war is starting and we're living in some iRobot shit where we're going up against, you know, the robots already. That would be crazy if there starts to be a content war. But the problem is, it's not going to be AI. It's going to be YouTubers that have signed up for the, excuse me. That was right into the mic, my bad. There's going to be YouTubers who have signed up for the pro membership, and then they're going to make 10 different channels, and they're going to try and scam this shit by, like, putting out a whole bunch of content. But the thing is, I feel like if you still become a human and do it yourself, you're going to stand above that. You know? Yo, that would be crazy if ChatGPT can't. If they can. But, yeah, maybe one day they will. And, man, that would be crazy if they get better than us at it. Then it's going to be like, man, that actually would suck. Because that could, okay, maybe that's why I needed to talk these things through. For one, I'm not gonna watch a video on this for some reason on my own. And the Facebook debates were like didn't seem right. But talking through it, I could kind of see where if it does get good enough, it could be a problem for art. Because all of the art, if they got better than us at art, it's hard for me to believe that that is possible. You know, just because like what we have seen so far is not even close. The writing, you can always tell when a LinkedIn post has been written by ChatGPT. You can always tell. It's a certain like words they love to use, the structure and the emojis. You can outwit and outcreate ChatGPT if you took the time to. Your blog post is going to go more viral without ChatGPT than with it if you took the time to write it. For now, at least. But if it can ever upgrade to the point where it's better than us, then we're in trouble. I ain't gonna lie. We are actually going to be in trouble if ChatGPT can write as good as us. That's going to be a
within
big
a few
problem.
minutes, like two golden retrievers doing a podcast on top of a mountain. Not bad, but this next one's really impressive.
All these faceless channels with like AI and
a guy
fake
turning
characters.
a non-profit open source company into a profit-making closed source company. Impressive. Very nice. So now you might be wondering how you can get your hands on this thing. Well, not so fast. If a model this powerful was given to some random...
All right, the digital builders, we might need to shift our mission. Digital builders. We need to all tap into this and fight back.
Should. One can only imagine the horrors that it would be used for. It would be nice if we could generate video for our AI influencers for additional tips, but that's never going to happen. It's highly unlikely this model will ever be open source, and when they do release it, videos will have C2PA metadata, which is basically a surveillance apparatus that keeps a record of where content came from and how it was modified. In any case, we do have some details on how the model works. It likely takes a massive amount of computing power, and just a couple weeks ago, Sam Altman asked the world for $7 trillion to buy a bunch of GPUs. Yeah, that's trillion with a T, and even Jensen Huang made fun of that number because it should really only cost around $2 trillion to get that job done. But maybe Jensen is Huang. It's going to take a lot of GPUs for video models to scale. Let's find out how they work. Sora is a diffusion model, like DALL-E and Stable Diffusion, where you start with some random noise, then gradually update that noise to a coherent image. Check out this video if you want to learn more about that algorithm. Now, there's a ton of data.
What video? He didn't even, what?
Actually update that noise to a coherent image. Check out this video if you want to learn more about that algorithm.
All right, I'm gonna have to search that just to watch it next because this is already almost over. Weird algorithms. Fireship. Okay, we had to. Why would you not?
Have you ever woken up?
That's lazy, bruh. We gotta do better.
Algorithm. Now, there's a ton of data in a single still image, like 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels by 3 color channels, comes out to 3 million data points. That's a big number, but what if we have a 1-minute video at 60 frames per second? Now we have over 10 billion data points to generate. Now, just to put that in perspective for the primate brain, 1 million seconds is about 11.5 days, while 10 billion seconds is about 317 years. So there's a massive difference in scale, plus video has the added dimension of time. To understand this data,
Was that an AI video? That is trippy.
Is about 11.5 days, while 10 billion seconds is about 317 years. So there's a massive difference in scale, plus video has the added dimension of time. To understand this data, they took an approach similar to large language models, which tokenize text, like code and poetry, for example. However, Sora is not tokenizing text, but rather visual patches. These are like small compressed chunks of images that capture both what they are visually and how they move through time, or frame by frame. What's also interesting is that video models typically crop their training data and outputs to a specific time and resolution, but Sora can train data on its native resolution and output variable
butterfly underwater
resolutions as well. That's pretty cool. So how is this technology going to change the world? Well, last year, tools like Photoshop got a whole suite of AI editing tools. In the future, we'll be able to do the same in video. Like you might have a car driving down the road and want to change the background scenery. Now you can do that in 10 seconds instead of hiring a cameraman and CGI expert. But another lucrative high-paying career that's been put on notice is Minecraft streaming. Sora can simulate artificial movement in Minecraft and potentially turn any idea into a Minecraft world in seconds. Or maybe you want to direct your own indie Pixar movie. AI makes that possible by
See, that's what I was talking about, bro. We can make our own movies.
Stealing the artwork of talented humans, but it might not be that easy. As impressive as these videos are, you'll notice a lot of flaws if you look closely. They have that subtle but distinctive AI look about them, and they don't perfectly model physics or humanoid interactions, but it's only a matter of time before these limitations are figured out. Although I'm personally threatened and terrified of Sora, it's been a privilege and an honor to watch 10,000 years of human culture get devoured by robots. This has been the Code Report. Thanks for watching, and
Yeah, that's crazy. It took us, like you said, it took us what year? This is 2024. It took us 2,000 years to have computers and, you know, video editing software, animation. And now we've created AI that in, you know, our computers, just servers and code that can one-up us in our own creation. That's kind of
up in the middle of the night in a panic, wondering
but
how
it's supposed to help us, right? Why do we have to take the stance that it's a war now, you know, or is this a tool to help us? I think that the problem is going to be the greedy people who are going to overdo it. You know, the greedy YouTubers who are going to like take it and overkill it. Yeah, right? Like the Minecraft. Imagine if that's true, what it will be like if you try to search something on Minecraft that is not AI created. If there's all of a sudden a flood of like 1 trillion different Minecraft videos and you're a Minecraft streamer trying to start off, what's going to make you stand out? How will you stand out? If the sea of content, I think that's what the problem is going to be. And that's why we should all be making content now. Whatever you're into, if you want to be an artist or a content creator, which I recommend to all of the builders, because this can easily tie into your branding as a software engineer. It's part of the program because it will connect to your LinkedIn. It will connect to your ability to freelance. It will connect to your ability as a marketer, personal branding. Unfortunately, we can't just code. I mean, you can just code, but I'm all about taking as many opportunities as we can. Tapping into all of the different sources of revenue and shit like that we can. So even you don't have to show your face. You know, you can do a faceless one. You can make tutorials. Whatever it is that you're learning, you could record, you know, and if you start, I'm just trying to say that you got to probably start now. Because if you're waiting to start later and Sora comes out or even more of this AI stuff comes out, it's going to be so hard for a person who has not started before this revolution that's coming. the flood, the sea of content is going to be so massive that I think anybody who doesn't have some sort of following now is going to get drowned. It's going to be too hard to be found because there's going to be so many different videos. Like if they search, they're not going to find your stuff. But still, you know, maybe like, I don't know. I'm just imagining what could happen. I don't know what's
And how to extract a polygonal mesh of an isosurface from a three-dimensional discrete scalar field? Yeah, I didn't think so. But back in '87, two programmers at General Electric did. They created and patented the Marching Cubes algorithm, an algorithm that has likely saved countless lives by allowing doctors to visualize data from CT and MRI scans. Whenever you instruct a machine to solve a problem with code, you're creating an algorithm, a procedure for rearranging ones and zeros that can make animals talk and vacuums walk. Most algorithms belong in the dumpster, but some are fast, some are beautiful, and some are so weird they're indistinguishable from magic. Today we'll look at 10 of the most interesting algorithms ever engineered, and how they're used to solve very interesting problems in the real world. First on the list, we have wave function collapse. One of the weirdest things in all of science is the double slit experiment, where particles behave like a wave when you're not looking, but when you look...
I've heard about that. So wait, that's a computer thing? I thought that the double slit experiment was a physical thing. Did he say that that's computer related? Because I could have sworn that that was quantum physics, but in reality.
In the real world. First on the list, we have wave function collapse. One of the weirdest things in all of science is the double slit experiment, where particles behave like a wave when you're not looking, but when you look, they suddenly collapse down to a particle. It seems counterintuitive, but it makes total sense when you realize we're living in a simulation, and the universe wrote this algorithm.
Yeah, we're definitely living in a simulation, by the way. And that's like, I don't know. I would need to look into the double slit experiment to see if this was something that I thought it was either a theoretical test or that it was like, you know, done in some science lab somewhere. But supposedly it goes along with that thing about if a tree falls and no one's around to hear it, does it really fall? Like they say that when they weren't recording, like particles were shooting through a machine, and when the camera wasn't turned on, it was behaving as a wave. But then when you go to look at it, or if they turned the camera on, it would collapse and it would function how it was supposed to function. And the slits would be like straight, exactly how they would supposed to be. But if you're not looking, then you could tell by the dots on the landing of the particles that it was like spread out when nobody's looking. So they say like it's our observation that collapses reality into what it is. It takes a human not even just human, any type of observation, even if it's a camera. When something is not absorbed, or what's the word for observation? When something is not looked at, yeah, for sure. When I started coding, learning about objects and functions and state and managing state, I'm like, oh my God, bro, like this has to be what we're living through, right? We're all just a bunch of functions, and I mean, we're all just a bunch of objects with properties and functions, you know. Shit's crazy.
For them to cut down on its AWS bill. It's an interesting concept to think about philosophically, but the general idea behind wave function collapse can also be implemented programmatically. Imagine we have a map for a video game, but what if this is a side-scrolling game that can go on for eternity? We can't just make a bigger map, we need an algorithm to procedurally...
What algorithms do I use the most? Honestly, I don't. I have never used an algorithm for something on my... like that I didn't just look up when I needed it. So I don't have a go-to yet. A little embarrassing to say, because that's one thing on my to-do list to get better at. I need to do LeetCode code. I need to go back to my data structures and algorithms. There's this book called Design Systems and Design Patterns that I'm planning on reading. It's on my to-do list as soon as the dust settles a little bit. But that's another thing. Like, I didn't wait until I got good at that stuff to start freelancing, which eventually led me to a job. I've been so busy since I started freelancing. I kind of started freelancing prematurely. You know what I mean? A little too soon. And now I'm playing catch up with a lot of things. I kind of threw myself into the fire and been like swimming in the fire, you know what I mean? But I'm glad that I did, because I get to live, you know, as a developer, which, you know, I am, and that's why I always encourage people to not wait. But then again, I need to also explain to them what that means they're signing up for. So you have to decide what's better. Is it better for you to wait until you can write a reverse string algorithm, you know, till you can solve everything on Leet Code and become like an awesome, whatever room you walk into, you're going to be able to whip out your computer and impress people with your code? Do you want to wait until then to start applying for jobs? Or do you want to, like, whatever state you're in now, take your knowledge that you have right now and start building things now and start applying now and fill in the rest later? It's pros and cons to this, you know, depending on your age, depending on how much time you have to grind, probably has something to do with it, right? Where are you? How much free time do you have in your life right now? You know, what matters the most to you right now? Is it money? Are you grinding for the bread right now? Or are you in school for your, you know, some people in our crew are in school for their computer science degree. So shoot, they're already in it and on that path to success anyway. So along the way, they're gaining all that knowledge, and then now they just got to wrap it up with the actual experience, the projects, and the freelancing. But, you know, there's so many different paths to go to get to the end goal. And, you know, I recommend, depending on if you're really just trying to break through, I say I know how to just do it no matter where you are. I know now we have the tools to where really if you wanted to, you could just break through if you go about it the right way. But that's not the right way to do it for everyone, probably, because then you're going to be playing catch up in a high stress environment, you know, where when it comes time for you to like build, right? The better skills that you have, the better that you'll be. So it's a tricky situation,
generated on the fly.
You know?
What's so weird is that we can take this initial map and think of it as being in the initial superposition of all possibilities. It's the wave function. Then upon observation, it collapses into a particle, or in other words, it selects a random map tile, but follows a consistent set of rules, like in this case, making sure that the roads are always connected, providing a random yet cohesive result, and doesn't rely on any sort of modern generative AI. Speaking of which, AI is weird as hell. Diffusion is a machine learning algorithm originally developed at OpenAI and is the magic behind image generators like DALL-E and Stable Diffusion. But the concept of diffusion actually comes from thermodynamics, where particles spread from areas of higher concentration to lower concentration. In artificial intelligence, the process is reversed. The algorithm starts by generating random noise, which would be like high entropy in thermodynamics, and gradually refines it to a structured image, which would be lower entropy. But first, you'll need to train a model.
So wait, this is the opposite of our reality. If it starts off random and then goes into being structured, right? Entropy. And I heard that entropy, binary search and linear search algorithm. Bro, you know more algorithms than I do. But so entropy is basically like if you build a sandcastle, right? Imagine this right side is a sandcastle. It's going to end up on the left side. That's the reality that we live in. It goes from order to chaos. The way that generative AI works, it starts with the chaos and builds into an ordered picture. That is kind of trippy when you think about it. I want to back up a little bit because I feel like over here, he real slickly said that we live in a simulation. It kind of like explained it a little bit.
Wave function collapse can also be implemented programmatically. Imagine we have a map for a video game, but what if this is a side-scrolling game that can go on for eternity? We can't just make a bigger map, we need an algorithm to procedurally generate it on the fly. What's so weird is that we can take this initial map and think of it as being in the initial superposition of all possibilities. It's the wave function. Then upon observation, it collapses into a particle, or in other words, it selects a random random map tile, but follows a consistent set of rules, like in this case, making sure that the roads are always connected, providing a random yet cohesive result, and doesn't rely on any sort of modern generative AI. Speaking of which, AI is weird as hell. Diffusion is a machine learning algorithm originally developed at OpenAI and is the magic behind image generators like DALL-E and Stable Diffusion. But the concept of diffusion
Bro, you being able to do all of those algorithms is gonna be good for you for sure. That's definitely a nice tool to have in your toolbox. You know what I mean? Yeah. I need to you always gotta, I'm working on that stuff right now. And my lack of that type of stuff, every day it's a struggle for me in my job. I'm at my like maximum brain power every day, all day pretty much, because I went for the experience first. So it's all about balance, man. But that's dope that you already learning it. Because if I remember correctly, you don't have a portfolio website built, Adrian. I don't think you do. But yeah, you want to get a job before the end of the year, but also want to have some skills. So you're learning. That's good. It's good to do both at the same time. Job search is the same time of your experience. I was more like job search, you know, WordPress developer and just job searching. Yeah, no, you really don't, bro. Depending on now, unless you're trying to go work for Google, if you're trying to pass a technical interview, that's a whole nother story. You may need to they might pull up a whiteboard and make you do algorithms. But I didn't try to work for one of those companies. I joined a startup. I started freelancing, which eventually led me to join a startup. And startups are real people. So they're not going to, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to give you a technical interview. You know what I mean? This is like a person with an idea that got funded. And every single startup needs a developer. And I'm part of our local startup community. So that's kind of the path that I teach people to do, is like, just go make it happen over there. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. And because you just need to be able to build at that point. And when my interview was more so like, show us what you've done, you know? And I went over my portfolio, which I'm not going to bring up because I know most people here are probably tired of seeing it. Like, I've brought up my portfolio, I think, on every live stream so far. But why don't other YouTubers? That's what I never understood, bro. That is why I made my YouTube, pretty much, for that reason. Was because I'm like, there's a side of the story that's not being told. You know what I mean? And also with courses, I feel like for some reason they don't tell you that we don't even build websites from scratch. We don't really do that. There's so many frameworks out there that why would you be using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript like we don't have a million different templates and frameworks to use? You know, that's a whole another topic that, you know, people might be getting tired of me talking about.
It actually
But
comes
it's
from
very, very true though. The courses and the other YouTubers and stuff could really kind of like have you just learning forever. You know what I mean?
Thermodynamics,
If you're
where
not
particles
careful.
spread from areas of higher concentration to lower concentration. In artificial intelligence, the process is reversed. The algorithm
So I would focus on making them good and making it look professional, and making whatever class projects that you have built, try and make it instead look like you built something for a company and for a real client. Like, I've looked at some people's portfolios that have said like class calculator, class weather app. I would remove like project 1 weather app. Don't make it look like a school portfolio. Use your use your skills to make it look like a real web developer's thing. You know what I mean? Try to like hide the fact that it's a school thing, and then start getting clients. You know, start building websites for whoever cuts your hair, for your aunt who babysits. I don't know, for anybody. Make a website for them, put it on your portfolio, and turn yourself, make random ones anyway. You could make a website for a car dealership that never hired you, but make it look like you got hired to make that, because still you made it. So it's not like you're finessing whoever's going to hire you, because you know how to build the car dealership website, right? You built it still. That's what we do. You know what I mean? The school that I come from, that's how I was taught to do it, and it worked. You know, so that's just the way that I got into the industry, was by actually building, shaking people's hands, networking. I didn't go the route where you needed to learn a bunch of algorithms and then, you know, pass the algorithm test interview to get in the office at Google or Amazon. Now, if you're trying to work for Google or Amazon or Apple, matter of fact, my girl works for Amazon, right? And a position opened up. She's kind of high up in Amazon. It's but her position has nothing to do with coding. And she saw that She saw that there was a developer position open for Amazon. And this is only something that was in-house. They were only offering, and the system was so dope. It was like, if you sign up for this Amazon class, they will pay you to go to school. And it was something that was only offered to Amazon employees. So I was like, yo, let's do it. Let's do it. So she signed up. She got the interview. And they made her turn on her camera. And I was standing to the left of the screen, right? Like whispering, like, yo, it's A, it's B, it's B. Trying to help her. But the questions were so damn hard that we failed. They had a time limit. We couldn't Google, and we didn't get through. We failed the test but I was trying to like get her into the like developer side of Amazon. She does like emails and shit like that. So I saw that you definitely need to know some crazy math, some crazy algorithms if you want to be a developer at Amazon. But that's not the only route. Every single business out here in the world needs websites. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro. I haven't done this, but come on. If you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, I'm going to do this real quick because I don't know how many of y'all want to watch that video we were watching. But real quick, bro. Next time you're getting your haircut, this is the way that my brain works. This is the way that I was taught. And this website is called themeforest.net. There's a million different websites like this. I'm going to use this example real quick, and then we're going to get back to the thing, right? So next time you're sitting in your barbershop chair, ask him, yo, bro, you got a website? And if he tells you no, why not? You know I'm a web developer, right? Bro, I could make you a website for like $100. For real, what kind of website could you make me? Then you come here. Let's go to a cheap one. $14. You're making a website for your homie for $200. Then you come here. This is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or React or something. Maybe we shouldn't have went to the cheap one. So look, here you go right here, bro. You say this is what it's going to look like. Let's view the demo. Wait. Man, this thing is slow. Don't show them this one. But here you go. Yeah. You put their logo in here. You put all of their stuff in here. As web developers and software engineers, this is why I say we don't rebuild the wheel. Unless you really want to be a designer, unless you really want to be a person who, let's inspect the code. You really want to sit there and write all of these different divs? If you really want to do that on your own and modify and go back and look at it, go change the number, go back and look and change the number. If you want to spend all your time doing that, then you can. But for $14.99, you can get clients in the real world by put this on your portfolio. You know what I mean? This is only if you're trying to spend $14. You can get other ones for free if you do a little looking. And yeah, you could easily put your homies' pictures in here, change the logo out, But the part of you being a web developer and a software engineer comes in because you're the guy who still has to get the domain and connect your domain to the URL. You're still gonna host it on GitHub, and set up the hosting for them, set up the SSL certificate for them. Still, and you'll have the code and be able to maintain it. But as far as the initial design, you don't need to spend a month writing all this stuff when there's millions of templates out there for you to use that are probably going to look better than even if you were to try and do it on your own. So this is how you could start a whole freelance business on your own, with whatever you know right now, most likely. If you're already at the point where you're studying algorithms, then you could probably start freelancing if you really wanted to. But yeah, that's my spiel on that. Yeah.
Algorithm starts by generating random noise, which would be like high entropy and thermodynamics.
Yep, you did, bro. It was dope to hear that too, by the way, because I remember you were saying you were stuck
and
on
gradually refines it to a structured image.
What is backend? Backend, I can show you what a backend is real quick. Here's a free backend called Google Firestore, right? If you type in firebase.google.com and you have a Google account, you have access to a free backend. Front end is the front of your website. Front end is all of the CSS, all of the design. We're looking at a front end right now. My bad. We're looking at a front end right now, right? A back end that you can take your Gmail, type in firebase.google.com, go over to console. This is also connected to Google Cloud Platform, right? So here is the back end for our digital builders website. Now here, I don't mean to show people's information who have signed up for that, but back end, think of the human body, right? The front end is everything you can see from me. Is the front end. The back end is my lungs, my stomach, my kidneys. That's all of the shit that you cannot see that is still running. Maybe that's not a good analogy, but it's basically your database. These are all of the users who have signed up, which is crazy. Oh no, these are the messages. So the database, let's look at the front so we can show this shit correctly. This is the front end, right, of the website. Let me log in real quick. This is the front end. So you can see on the front end, you see all the messages here, right? This is the front end. So you use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to build this part. Now the back end is here where you see the actual, every single message here is a document. That document is held in my database in the back end. So here there's a field on my document. It has, every document has a specific ID. It has a timestamp. So this is, I say document, but it's really a JavaScript object. Remember how earlier I was explaining what a JavaScript object is in the React documentation? Let's go back to the top. In the React documentation, right here, you see, let's find an object. Where's that user's object? We were just looking at it. Hold up. It was the user object with the lady on the right side. Here it is, Heidi. So this is a user object, right? This const user, and then you got your curly braces, and then you got these different properties. You got the name, you got the profile, and you got her image size. So in my backend, every message that you put here is a object. I keep calling it document, but document is just the name for the object. And in the same way that this has different properties for the user object, every single message here, every time someone writes a message here, yo, it's going to create another document. It runs the functions to create a document over here. Probably will be at the bottom, right? ASDF. So you can see here's all the properties for it. It's got a created at, which is timestamp, timestamped on the server at the time that someone hit enter on it. It all has a unique ID, which gets given to it randomly. It's got a photo.
Why does it have a photo? Why does it have a photo? Oh, I guess everyone shows the photo of the person who wrote it. Okay. And then whatever text you write in there is going to show up here. And then UID. So, and if I wanted to, I could also create a user collection here and then code that in somehow. Like, here's the authentication, shows everybody's email who has ever signed up for that website, which is embarrassing to see that there's so many people who signed up for that website probably expecting something. But this is also going to be the email list that I send when we upgrade that. We're going to upgrade that to something dope one day. And then I'm going to send everybody an email to say like, yo, come back. You know, it's not just a chat anymore. It's going to be something cool. But yeah, this is the back end. So that's what the Google Cloud has provided for us. This is the Google Cloud Firestore, and this is basically like the easy back end, right? But you can, if you wanted to, you could build your own. You could build your own server, your own back end, but there's so many different things like this, like how I say, why reinvent the wheel? And some people don't like Firebase because of like the pricing model. It starts off free to lock you in. They're very, very smart about that. By the time that they get expensive eventually, by the time they get expensive, your app will have 1 million users, and it will be so annoying and expensive for you to leave this program to then go build your own or go to one that is more cost efficient. So they give you a bunch of shit for free to lock you in, and then eventually it gets more expensive later on. But you could build your own if you wanted to, you know? Yeah, you could build your own. You could set up, you could learn the code. There's nothing that is happening here that you could not do on your own. But if you're just trying to launch something out quick, this thing has all the bells and whistles that you could possibly use. Why go, and this is just the way that I think, why go through all the trouble of setting up your own authentication if you could do it easy? You click plug in. You look right here. I have it so anybody with a Google account can sign in to the digital builders thing. I didn't have to build that on my own. Let me go back to the front. This, when you click, all I did was build the React button that says join now. And then I connected, this whole thing was just connected right here. All I had to do was I could add a new one. I could say, let people sign in with Facebook. Let people sign in with GitHub. Let people sign in with Twitter or their phone. It's all right here for you to click. And whatever I choose at that point, you could sign in or create, you can sign in or create an account with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But of course, if you wanted to do all that stuff yourself, you could. If you wanted to. They even have hosting. They even got analytics. They got everything that you could possibly need is over here, bro, in the back end. They even have machine learning. To give you a better example real quick, I'm sure they got a quick little video we could watch if we wanted to. But yeah, that's all it is, man. This is a back end. Or this isn't the only back end, but this is one of the easiest ones. And then that's the front end over here, which is your HTML, your CSS, your JavaScript. Right? And mine isn't that tricky. I could pull up the project file here if we want to look at that real quick. Terminal. Open with terminal. It's React on the front end. And I used, ChatGPT for most of this. Make sure I'm on the right project. Yeah, GitHub. So yeah, my components, I have a chat message component here. I got the chat room here. This is the counter for my to-do list app.
It's nothing crazy, man. Here's the sign in. Where's the Yeah, you would have to know a little bit more of React probably to understand what's going on here, but it ain't nothing tricky, really. What programming language do you need to know for Firebase? Yeah, JavaScript. Well, let me think. I'm pretty sure you could use either one of those. Firebase, with it being the back end, it doesn't matter what you use for the front end. But whenever let me not lead you astray. Let me make sure. I might need to pull that one back up. It's crazy. The app that I work for, we use Firebase, so it's perfect for me. Let me see. Where is it? Digital Builders. I learned it from this guy called Net Ninja. I took Net Ninja, who is one of my favorite YouTubers. This is my guy. Whenever y'all know I'm a ninja, so he already had me at the name. But whenever I need to learn something quick, I type in Net Ninja and I go to playlists, and I guaranteed 9 times out of 10 he has one. So look, he got Dart, pixel art, Python, build and this and build of that, GraphQL, React. So let's search for Firebase in here. Net Ninja Firebase React tutorial. Look, it was in my history. Firebase auth. This is the one I did for auth.
Hey gang, and welcome to your very first step in
short, sweet, and to the point. He's got a nice little playlist here.
becoming a Firebase authentication
I ran
ninja.
through this.
Alright then my friends, so this course is all about Firebase authentication, and that's going to allow us to...
So yeah, I basically ran through this one. This is 5 years ago, so he even has updated ones. New Firebase functions, Firebase Firestore, which is the document.
Hey gang, and welcome to
structure.
your very first Firebase Firestore tutorial.
Why am I burping so much?
By pasting in this ID.
He does it in JavaScript, and he's very for
Hey
me,
gang, and welcome to your very first Firebase Firestore tutorial.
For me at least, this dude
Redux, Ace.
He taught it perfectly to me. I also Fireship also really likes Firebase. The guy who we're watching for the AI shit. This is, if I'm not mistaken, Fireship is also Fireship uses Firebase too, also, right? Fireship, Firebase in 100 seconds. He does these really good, fast talking videos. Here we go. Firebase in 100 seconds. Let's watch this real quick.
Firebase, a suite of tools for building apps and managing infrastructure on top of Google Cloud Platform. It was founded by James Tamplin and Andrew Lee in 2011 after they discovered that
That's a great strategy, bro.
developers were using their chat software to manage non-chat
Yeah, there's tons of companies use this stuff, man.
application data. This inspired them to create a real-time database, a JSON database that automatically stays in sync with your front-end application. It was later expanded to support user authentication and website hosting to act as a complete backend as a service.
Think about it. It's made by Google. It connects straight to Google Cloud Platform. So you sign in with your Gmail, and it's all there, ready to go.
In 2014, it was acquired by Google, where it was further expanded with serverless computing via cloud functions, push
Correction, it was acquired by Google in 2013. I did not know that.
notifications via cloud messaging, and other Google services like Analytics and AdMob. In 2017, Google acquired Fabric from Twitter and also launched a new document database called Firestore to support a wider range of applications. Most importantly though, Firebase provides software development kits for virtually every platform to manage and scale this infrastructure with little
See, so JavaScript, C++, Android, Apple.
to no backend code. To build a full stack application right now, create a free Firebase project, then open up some code for your favorite front-end platform. Install the Firebase SDK, then connect it to the cloud with your project credentials. Once initialized, you can start interacting with your backend resources. First, we might want to know if the user is logged in or not. We can listen to the current user with the on/off state changed function. The user will be null at first, but we can log them in with
See, so you could run through this and slow it down, and you could just set your shit up. And
their Google account using the sign in with pop-up function. Now that we have a user logged in, we might want to store something in a database. We can make a reference to a document in Firestore, then write JSON data to it while making a reference to the current user's user ID. But the amazing thing is that we can listen to updates to that data in real time by simply referencing the document using the onSnapshot function. Anytime the data changes on the server, it'll be reflected in the UI with zero latency thanks to optimistic updates out of the box. But that doesn't seem very secure. How do we control who has access to the database? Firestore security rules allow you to define access control logic in a simple readable format with common expression language. You can do almost everything from the front end, but when you do need to run server-side code, Firebase Cloud Functions provides a tightly integrated serverless backend. Not only does it allow you to create HTTP endpoints, but functions can also be triggered in the background based on events that happen in your project, like writes to the database, user authentication events, file uploads, and many others. When developing locally, Firebase has an emulator suite to run and test your code in a mock.
I love that emulator suite, bro. I use that to test everything that I do, and it's so cool to see what you're building work. Like the way that the thing that I was working on like a couple weeks ago was how if I created a user, then everything that I wanted, like if I created a user, right, and I typed in the email and the password, then it would automatically inside the database, it would create everything that I needed. Like it would create the document of the user, the date that it was created, the UID, the first name, the last name. Like it would create the entire thing into the database. And I wrote a function, a cloud function to make that happen automatically. It was super cool seeing that work. When I saw that work for the first time, I almost jumped out of my chair, like, wow, I did it, you know?
Environment. When it's time to deploy, run the Firebase deploy command to push your code to the cloud and allocate infrastructure to run it at any scale. This has been Firebase in 100 seconds. If you're ready to build a serious...
But yeah, that's Firebase, man. You can go crazy. Go crazy on YouTube looking up all the cool shit that you could build on Firebase, and it will definitely... And then, man, you can make a whole living off of Firebase. I was looking at Fiverr earlier today just because I was kind of curious, right? Because the thing about web development and the time that we're living in right now is that there's so many different things. You got WordPress, you got Firebase, you got your own shit that you could be doing, right? It's very, very easy. Like on accident, I realized, like, wait a minute, I'm becoming a Firebase expert here. If I'm getting my ass kicked every night by Firebase and React, why the hell would I want to go work on something in Python for another company? Why don't I just stick with Firebase? Because I've accidentally became like a Firebase guru, right? So I just wanted to make sure like I could have a career just doing Firebase if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that, but I went in here and I searched Firebase app, like just to see what people charge, right? And Fiverr is a little ridiculous on the prices. Like it's kind of sad to see how much work people do for such, you know, a low amount of money, but that's another story. But look, you got web app using Firebase, $150. Android app, Firebase, $350. Beautiful mobile app using Flutter and Firebase, $145. I'll build a web app using Angular and Firebase. There's all these different Firebase dudes in here. And I was like, damn, so I could actually, okay, this dude said 800 and has 19 reviews. I will develop Android, iOS, a web app with Flutter and Firebase. He's charging 800, which is more like what I would expect somebody to charge for something like this. You know, but you could technically like go build your whole life and just stick to Firebase if you wanted to. But you could say the same about everything, right? And then think about it though. Think about React and how many different frameworks and templates there are for the front end. And then Firebase, that's the reason why they're doing it for just $100 is because once you do it a couple times, you're doing such a powerful thing for people, and it's very, very low code involved. And maybe they're only charging $100 to build it, and then they're gonna get them on the monthly fee to maintain it. I'm hoping that they're not also. Yeah, he says he will. Everyone's saying that they will build it. Like, okay, I will build you this and give it to you. And once you've done, look, he's done it 66 times. So what's 66 times 145 for one? That's a lot. But he's talking about building it. And now what's going to happen when it breaks? You would imagine that they're going to come back to him. You know, I don't know how that works, but that's what I hope happens because that's a very low price. Everybody's only doing $100. $15. I will develop web application using Angular and Firebase for $15. Bruh. You messing up the game in the streets. So yeah, if you directly to Firebase, create our backend. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Learn all the basics. Right. That is the proper way to do it, bro. That's the proper way to do it. Don't get caught up and then be lost in the sauce and have to reverse engineer and reverse understand. Because it's very, very hard to do it that way. Like you say, you know. But it all depends on how desperate somebody is. You know what I mean? So you could go either way, either or. It's left up for personal preference, I would say. You know, I don't think that there's a right way. There's pros and cons, right, to each way. There's pros and cons to each route that you take, no matter what. Like, either you're gonna, you know. But I honestly, I might make a video on that, like what I would do, because I see a lot of those videos of people saying how I would learn the code if I would start over. Look, all I said was how I would L, and it finished it without even showing that this was in my history. How I would learn the code if I was to start over. How I would learn the code. How I would. Okay, that's a different one. But yeah. How I would learn the code if I could start over. How I would learn code if I start over. How I would learn the code if I could. How I would learn the code. How I would learn the code. Advice I get. So I've thought about making one of this just because that's what we do as YouTubers. We look and see what other people have done and like you think about what should you do next. Especially when you're like me and you're putting out a video every day. It's so quick to run out of ideas and to think like, man, what the hell am I going to make another video about? So I've seen people have advice, good success with this. And I have thought about it like, man, wait a minute. How would I learn the code if I would start over? Because I know for sure I did not do it the right way. And because of it, like things have been harder for me. Like maybe that's a good video for the future. Because I could talk about how like, you know, a lot of my videos are like, yay, I'm hired now. But I don't really talk about how hard it is when you kind of rush yourself into breaking into tech, you know? Is there anything like this that I should lead? Reason why? Yeah. Wait, what? Is there anything like this that you should least about? At least know about?
Which would be lower entropy, but first you'll need to train a model that can do this well. The diffusion
I'm still tripping off of how does this start in chaos and make its way to structure. That's really blowing my mind.
Random noise, which would be like high entropy in thermodynamics, and gradually refines it to a structured image, which would be lower entropy. But first, you'll need to train a model that can do this well. The diffusion algorithm works in two phases. In the
Tailwind is basically a template for CSS, right? There's tons of tutorials for that also. But Tailwind, look, I already had it filled in. I used this for something. What did I use this for? I'm trying to remember what I used this for. What the hell did I use Tailwind for? Oh, I think we used this for the hackathon. We used this. Let me just do Tailwind components. It's just basically like everything's already built. This is Tailwind. Like it's basically just templates, but it splits down to where you can get a header, you can get a footer, you can get your buttons, anything that you need. but you can grab it piece by piece in Tailwind. You can grab every little thing. It's kind of like Webflow. Webflow is another one. Why do I have to log into everything? Okay, cool. So yeah, like libraries. Component libraries. So browse components. Oh yeah, Flow. Did I say Flowbase? So yeah, like I said, basically, even if you wanted to just get a button, even if you wanted like whatever you need is already there. But I believe you have to pay for these in here, made in Webflow. That's all it is, bro. It's just like breaking it down. You know what I mean? And they also have full pages, but you can literally take buttons. They'll give you a million different home buttons. They'll give you a million different gallery buttons and profile buttons and admin interface templates. Like, we as software engineers, first you must understand vanilla CSS, pure CSS, and then you want to say, yeah, that's another thing that you might want to know your shit first. But if there is a route to just glue it together, if you want to just be a glue man, you know. Yeah. That's what it is, though. It's basically more templates, more drag and drop stuff. And from this perspective, as a software engineer, you're really just taking your knowledge, like, and now you're more of a Lego builder. You're taking your Lego blocks and you're bringing them together. Another analogy that I have used before, UI kit. An analogy that I have used before, which these are things that they don't talk about, you know. This whole philosophy is something that's not really talked about. Is that you can look at being a software engineer like, you know, yeah, like how bro is explaining it now, where you really know your shit and that makes you a 10xer, you know, one of the top guys. There's also where you can look at yourself as a plugger and player, you know, where you're grabbing stuff and putting it together. It all depends on what type of clients you have, what type of job you have. Do you really need but it is also better. Like, I always try and tell people about this path, but then also throw in that caution warning that always study still, always know yourself still, so that you're not weak. You don't want to be weak. So there's a balance between being fast and effective, getting clients and getting the job done quick and efficient, but then also the balance of not being the weakest link, not being the big head from Silicon Valley, you know, who doesn't know what a function is. You know, you want to definitely know your stuff at the same time, but depending on your cuz like there's WordPress developers who make a living on WordPress without writing one line of code, who make hundreds of $1,000s a year dragging and dropping on WordPress for small businesses. That is a legitimate career. Do we bully them and say that they're not web developers? They're not software engineers? I mean, shit, kind of. I would talk shit about that person, right? They can't code. I mean, but at the same time, is that right? If maybe they don't want to code. Maybe they're just a designer. You know, it's all about what you want. What do you want to do? What do you want to be your specialty? Do you enjoy writing code? Some people don't enjoy writing code, right? Some people don't enjoy writing CSS. Some people don't want to learn CSS. Some people do. Neither one is right and neither one is wrong. Especially when it depends on like what does your company want you to do? There was a video about that too that I made earlier, but yeah. That's what that shit's about, you know?
Forward phase, it gradually adds noise to an image step by step until it becomes completely random. In the second phase, the algorithm reverses this process, reconstructing it back into a coherent image. When the algorithm runs over millions of labeled images, we get a collection of weights that can be used to generate new images out of thin air, allowing us to build an infinite army of OnlyFans models. It's highly compute intensive, but also works well on audio, and the next frontier is diffusion for video generation. But now let's talk about simulated annealing. One frustrating thing about programming is that for many problems, there's not just one solution, but many solutions. Like an Amazon warehouse has many different ways to organize its inventory, but some ways are more efficient than others. Annealing is a word that comes from metallurgy, where metals are heated up and cooled down over and over again to remove defects. The same idea is used in optimization algorithms to find the best answer in a sea of good answers. Imagine trying to find the highest point in a mountain range full of peaks and valleys. A simple hill climb algorithm won't work because there are many local peaks. Initially, the temperature starts high, allowing the algorithm to explore freely. As time goes on, though, the temperature is lowered, which decreases the probability of accepting a worse solution. The trade-off here is exploration versus exploitation. But the reason I included this algorithm is because it's also a good way for beginners to learn how to code. Initially, you start out exploring all kinds of different technologies and frameworks, then eventually you find one specific area to exploit and specialize in. But we can't talk about algorithms without talking about sorting, and the most ingenious sorting algorithm of all time is without a doubt sleep sort. The majority of sane sorting algorithms out there use strategies like divide and conquer to break up an array into subarrays where it can be sorted more efficiently. However, some random genius on 4chan found a better way, but it's a bit unconventional. Here's what the code looks like in Bash. It's incredibly simple. It loops over the array, and then for each element, it opens up a new thread that sleeps for the amount of time proportional to the value of its element. Then finally, after waking...
See, I'm not gonna lie. He lost me a long time ago. I have no idea what he's talking about. But that's why I watch stuff like this, because I want to be like that one day. You know what I mean? Even though I do all that talking and trying to motivate people to just build and work and figure it out later, I'm always going to be trying to improve, just because I think that that type of shit is so cool. And it's my dream to be able to open up VS Code and to make magic happen. You know what I mean? Whatever I imagine, I want to be able to build. Especially when you talk about complex like algorithms of destructuring and sorting, sleep sorting, and what is this? Some type of function while negative n does something, sleep $1. What the hell is this?
waking up, it prints that element. It's genius because it delegates the sorting to the CPU scheduler. It's also incredibly dumb and useless because it delegates sorting to the CPU scheduler. Speaking of which, you might be familiar with another useless sorting algorithm, BOGO sort, which tries to sort an array by randomly guessing over and over again. It's like playing the lottery. But what if we apply the same algorithm with quantum mechanics to the multiverse? If we're to trust multiverse science, we know that all possible outcomes exist in separate parallel universes. That means as a developer, if you find yourself with an unsorted array, there's some other parallel universe where it is sorted. The technology isn't quite there yet, but if we could randomly observe these other universes to find the sorted array, we could then use a portal gun to travel to that universe, which would make our lives much easier. Although we would obviously have to kill the version of ourselves in that universe, but if it's a really large array, quantum BOGO sort might be worth it. That's purely hypothetical, but one of the most practical and goated algorithms of all time is RSA, a public key crypto system. It's essential for digital security, allowing people on the internet to lock their mailboxes and sign their
a back-end course that would be useful with React. Well, the thing about that is that React is for front end. So you could technically put the you can put React on any back end that you want. React is the front end, so it's really separate. Right? That's the cool thing about JavaScript, is that it can be used server side. Back end is basically server side, right? So it all depends on what are you trying to build, right? But React is strictly front end shit. You're building components. It's for the user interface, and you're like building components and nesting them. And the whole purpose of building components would be to so that you don't have to build the same thing over and over again. You build a component which is like separates it. Leon Noel has a great. Let me post this explanation for you to watch later. The video's like 3 hours long, so we're not gonna watch that now. I actually got to like make a drink and like get up and shit pretty soon, but Leon Noel React. This will explain to you in regular human English what React is. Excuse me. So it's basically like it was created by Facebook to solve problems that were arising when Facebook was blowing up, right? And now they basically like there's a documentary on it too that is very, very well written. If you don't mind, save that one for the explanation on what you can use it for. And then if you want to know the true history from the creators of it, which I don't think I ever finished it.
I spent 11 years in San Francisco.
These are the guys that created React. So I need to finish this one day since I use it and talk about it so much.
At all. So what happened? How did React go in 10 years from looking dead on arrival to becoming the dominant front-end JavaScript framework?
Here's another one for you, bro. It's only an hour. So you got that one, the first one, to learn how to use it, and then the other one to learn where it came from in the history of it. It's like all of the internet, so very, very helpful. Oh, you know what it is you're mentioning because it's what you're currently learning. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, so, but then when you say what's a good backend for it, you really are just going to put that on top of any backend if you want to. I don't know. I can't think of a backend where React wouldn't work. You kind of just, you install it, you import it, and then you're good to go. Yeah, I think he's in the Discord and the school also. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But yup. Yeah, man. Shout out to y'all for hanging out. Bro, this was a dope stream. I was definitely not expecting it to be this long, but it's been super cool chilling with y'all. Thanks for checking out our that we had with them. I'm about to go watch it back now. That was super cool, man. But I'm about to get up, stretch, probably like make some tea, take a shower, and then get back to work, man. I still am playing catch up right now at work, so wish me luck. This week has been kicking my ass, but what do? At the Builders, we code every day. You know what I mean? It's been dope meeting all of y'all, growing with everybody. I'm super excited for what we're doing in the future. Man, I have a lot of things that I'm working on. Super excited to share with you guys later on. If you're not in the school yet, the links are in the description. Join the school, join the Discord. Yeah. Yep. Hop into the Discord. But I'm about to slide out of here. Y'all know I will definitely be posting something tomorrow, though. So y'all have a good night. It's been dope chilling with y'all. Peace.